Hi everyone, welcome to Glenda's Dragon's Den. I'm Glenda Dawson, your host. Uh, with me today in the studio, I have my co-host Ashley and her sister Megan.
We're back.
Put that on camera.
We're hiding with the jelly beans.
And then we also have my Dragon Wrangler, LD. Hi, LD. And we have a great group here with us from C.O.R.E. Paranormal Phenomenon. And they're here to tell us a whole bunch of little good stories. You know, those that you talk about in the campfire and you get all scared and you start sweating because you don't want to look like you are scared, but you want to run. And those are the ones that most of us here have experienced. And we're going to really tell you, though, don't be afraid if you ever experience one of those things. It's just something that's around here all the time. It's just you're blessed that they show it themselves to you. That's the way I look at it. And they just want to communicate with us, and they just want us to be able to know what they're looking for, and they just communicate it sometimes a little different than we do. So I'm going to introduce Johnny Hotchkiss.
Hello, everyone.
Rob and Margie.
Hi.
How you doing? How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Good.
Wonderful. This heat is oppressive, but I think with these campfire stories, people are going to be a little more scared, a little more worried about something other than just the heat.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you were saying before, campsite stories, the thing is these are going to be true ones. So
Yeah, exactly.
Get your popcorn.
Uh-huh. That's why we opened the chat room a little bit ahead of time, so they could go get their water,
There
their
you go.
popcorn, whatever they want.
Well, you see, the thing is, we're going to send chills down their spine to cool them off. And that's how you beat the heat.
Good one.
Yes. So.
I write things on occasion. On occasion. Not occasion. On occasion. There's a Cajun man I write things on.
Okay.
I see what
Really?
you did there.
Is that the fun we're going for, Ashley?
Yes.
So, I'm going to start with one story, and then I want to hear you guys. Because, you know, you guys have it all recorded and everything. I don't record things. Very rarely do I record them because usually I go in there to manage the situation.
Understood.
Not go in there and find out if it's there. But I do have one where I was actually at a campfire, and we had a nice fire going on, and people started going like in back of me, and I'm like, okay, what do you guys, you know? And they're all sitting around, and I thought they just had a little too much wine because it was all women, and and we were just, you know, sharing a lot of wine. And they were telling me that they kept seeing things around me, and one of them really got scared, and it wasn't anything that they should have been scared about. But those girls, those three particular ladies, would not even go to the bathroom by themselves. They actually walked themselves into my house, walked themselves out of my house, and it's in my house, for goodness sakes. Like, nothing in there is going to harm you at all. And they sat next to each other, like, hugging and all this, and I'm like, wow. Okay, girls, so you're not meant to do this with me. Because I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I see that. All right. Just wants to join us, that's all. And they're all like, and I'm like, what are you guys are afraid of? Don't you know that if they really wanted to get to you, no matter if you screamed or don't scream, whatever you want to do, they're going to get to you. So it's like, don't even attempt it. So tell us.
Oh, jeez. Well, as everybody knows who visits our page regularly, Liza and I have been doing research into the paranormal and the supernatural for, it's darn close to 30 years now. Mm-hmm. And we didn't start out just by reading ghost books. I mean, I always had an interest in ghosts from the time I was a child. Right. UFOs, who doesn't? Every kid does, right? I mean, Rob, I'm sure you did. same thing, but we had moved, my family and I'm talking, I was 15 years old.
Right.
Now, we moved to Florida. I was born and raised in this area, but we moved to Florida, better opportunities. Well, we got down there, my father decided it was no good, we came back. I think I turned 15 that summer, I was 14 that year, doesn't matter. But we couldn't get our old house back, so we got this little tiny home. And it's in Penargil, Pennsylvania, and I'm not going to say where it is to keep curiosity seekers away. But I'm sure it's still just as haunted as it was. But here we moved in, and the night we stayed in there, we were in sleeping bags because you're excited to stay in your new home, you know.
Right.
And I heard footsteps above in what I thought was the attic at that point. Here to find out later, all it was a loft. So you're talking 3.5 feet tops. Logistically, nobody could have walked around.
Maybe me. No.
Maybe, well, perhaps. No short jokes, I promise. But we had neighbors that were close. I thought maybe reverberations from them walking around. Well, it was. It turned out. As time progressed, just stranger and stranger things seemed to start to happen in this home. And at age 18, well, Liza and I started going together at 16. So this was going on pre-Liza with me. So we got together at 16. When she was 18, she moved in. She stayed in a snowstorm and just never went home. When my dad he tolerated it, I don't know. I think he knew we were going to be together. And here we are. But once she moved in, I don't know if it was her Native American blood or her strength of sensing what's going on around her, but the activity seemed to ramp up.
Right.
So we used to decorate. We had to stay home. My father became ill. Not to give everybody our life story here, but this makes sense in the story. We used to decorate the front of our bedroom door with Indian corn in the fall. We put a wreath up at wintertime.
Right.
So we were doing this, and something at one point when we had the Indian corn strung up was picking it up and letting it slam. Pick it up, let it slam. It was trying to get our attention.
Right.
Well, after this started happening, we had a fan that turned on by itself in the kitchen. One of the wind machines where we watched the little circular dial go in the back. Just sitting there watching it 3-4 times. And I turned it off, boom, it went back on. There was no flash, it had never done this before.
Right. So,
okay, some things like this had occurred. And from that point on, we did a little research on the home. And here to find out, and I won't say her name because of, patient violation or whatever, but her first name was, let's call her Mary.
Mary.
Mary had antique furniture in the house, and when we came back from Florida, we were destitute. So the owner, her POA, left all the furniture there, left everything there. We progressively got rid of it and bought different until my father became ill.
Right.
But here she had died in the house. We found that out too.
Okay.
Little old Italian woman. And things finally got to the point where Liza was working at a toy store in a mall, and I was home alone. I was doing private duty at this point, nursing.
Right.
Came home from my case, no big deal, it's daylight out. And I walked into the home, went to the shower. I was going to clean up and then go pick her up. We had one vehicle like we do now. That makes sense. We had an old Chevy S10 pickup, brown, and it was an 85. High stuff, high living. But, we put the hill in hillbilly, I'll tell you that. But I went in to clean up, and I started hearing stuff moving around in our kitchen. Now, this house was so small, you turn around once, you've seen it twice.
Okay.
I think 1,200 square feet, had the loft and had a basement, of course. But I went in the shower. I started hearing the knob on our door shake.
Right.
And I looked down and confirmed it. It went like in 10-second intervals for maybe 3 or 4 shakes.
Okay.
So, Dad, are you out there? No answer.
Needed
My
to
dad
go
was.
to the bathroom.
Yeah, what's that?
Needed to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I guess he was taking a ghostly something or other. I'm glad I was in the bathroom, let's put it that way, Glenda, because I wasn't experienced with this stuff like I am now. But it did it, I think, 3 or 4 times. My dad didn't answer me, obviously. I think they were at a doctor's appointment for that matter. But then I started hearing the kitchen cabinets go, open, open. Yelled again, no answer. Took a record shower, got out. I just wanted to get out of the house at that point.
Right.
Ran to the bedroom, or as I always say in my presentation, streaked to the bedroom, quite literally. Got in there. It was still daylight out, guys. It was nothing that should have, it wasn't like a creepy, dark and stormy night as Snoopy would write in Peanuts.
Right.
But I got to the bedroom, put on my brand new Chumbawamba tape, just to give you a time frame here. And, I get knocked down, I'll get up again. But got dressed, and I was feeling a little bit better now. I had the music on, it's light daylight out. I'm out of the little confined area of the bathroom. And I walked through, and like I said, this house was tiny. It had been added on to. but which means my father disturbed things years
Right,
prior.
right.
Anyway, I got through the dining room area, in through where the pass-through is, and I looked back through an archway, and this went to the living room. And I heard a popping noise. It smelled like burnt ozone, like an arcing, like when you have those Lionel trains.
Yes.
When you're a kid and you cross the wrong wires and you get that burnt scent.
Yeah.
And here she came, right across the archway. And I watched her go. And she wasn't floating. She wasn't walking. It was like she was on a skateboard. This is how I describe it. And somebody was just slowly pulling her. So, and she was not floaty and white and wispy. People tell you that. No, that's the first indicator. Maybe they look like that sometimes. Maybe they don't. Me, personally, I've never seen a ghost do a scoob in the gang where it floats across. But she was unfinished. And the best way I could ever describe her is if you watch Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Now, this is dated, but the character Odo. He always looked unfinished.
Right.
And that's what she looked like. But she was scowling at me. She'd go across. She'd pull, or, well, she'd walk or whatever she was doing. And then a little bit further. Well, at this point, I'm glad we had one of the dogs there because she turned around and she bristled and started growling at this.
Okay.
So there's your control on your test. I wasn't
Right.
hallucinating.
Right.
And if it was, I was mass hallucinating with a dog. And at that point, well, she wouldn't have caught me anyway. She would have slipping at what I was leaving behind at this stage of the game, if you take my meaning. But I got out of the house, and I didn't want to go back in that night. But I did. And eventually we had other activity. We contacted Charlie Adams.
Right.
He had helped us along with it, and my dad died, and I mean the house is still there, and as far as I know, it's still active. So, but that's how I initially got started in this field because people ask me, Johnny, do you believe in ghosts? I say no. I don't have to believe in them.
No.
I've seen them. I know they
Exactly.
exist, and until you experience that, folks. If you have your own story and you want to tell people about it and they look at you like you're nuts, you laugh a little bit at them because they just haven't experienced the same phenomena you were. And as Glenda said earlier, lucky enough to be
Shown.
open to this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
open to this. Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
that's my story. That's how I got into it.
Wow, cool, cool. So the house is still there?
Mm-hmm. It was sold.
Uh-huh.
My mother actually went to a nursing home,
Okay.
and the house was sold, and she used that to pay for the nursing home till she died.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
They take everything.
Yes, they do. Indeed, I know. You're not telling me anything with that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, but the house still, I think it's a rental, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe somebody bought it since then. But, yeah, it's still there. But, you know,
I can understand why it could be a rental. Yeah.
people want to stay.
Yeah.
I've showed you that house, haven't I, Margie?
No, I've never seen
Never
it.
been by it?
No.
At some point. Or Rob, I don't know if I ever had.
No, I've
You know,
not.
it's
No.
like it's a little town of Penargil. Or Penargyle, as everybody calls it down there.
Who knows? I call it Penargil, but I
Yeah.
always get yelled at. But
No, that's what I've always called I lived there. My whole life, I mean, except 5 years in Bangor until we moved. That's another one, Bangor.
Bangers, but yes.
Yeah, or
yes.
Bangor.
Bangor, yes.
One
I
of the
know.
two.
And you're looking at, what? That's not how it's spelled. What are you talking about?
Well, up here we have Scotia
I know.
and the little town of Scrotum.
I know.
When you look at that, it's Scott Run, folks, but
Scott running silent.
Yep.
anyway.
Larry always calls it, oh, we're going to Score. Where? And then I'm looking at the sign, oh.
So many little burgs and towns.
Oh, yes, yes.
But I don't want to hog the mic the entire time.
Yeah.
Rob, you've got to have a story, man.
No,
I do, but I've never seen anything, so I can at least say that. I've never seen an apparition.
Rob, leave.
It's funny because part of me wants to, but part of me also doesn't know how that's going to change me because it changes you. I've heard plenty of stories, and I mean, you know, you see some of these things on TV that are like reenactments of people's stories, and
Right.
you know, if they're done in a very frightening fashion, you think to yourself, like, I can only imagine, like, mentally how that must have affected that person, from that point on in their life. So I would like to experience it, but I don't know if it'll cause me to quit or what. So it's kind of like a 50-50, I guess. But I won't fool anybody. I've never seen anything. I've had experiences in the moment, which is probably the next best thing. Like if you have like an audible EVP rather than something you catch on a playback of a recording.
Right.
So that's probably the next best thing in my opinion. Or you hear disembodied footsteps in the moment.
That's where I wanted to go with this, not to
that's-
interrupt you, but that's a moment I got to share with you. And
Okay,
I'm so
right,
proud of that
yeah.
for that reason.
Yeah, that was probably the second. Well, No, I think that was the first time I encountered it in the moments, because the only other time I encountered something, it was unfortunately after that house in Oliphant.
Yeah.
Me and Tony went there a few times, and it was basically, it was dead while we were there. Nothing happened. So we literally went out to get like a battery refresh at like a Walmart or something. 15 minutes, whatever. We decided to do a little experiment with a two-way radio, and we basically had a clamp on it, so that basically if something was in the house, we can hear it on our end in the radio. And literally we got to we walked out of the house, we locked it, because it was this woman's house who was trying to sell it. She didn't live in it, so we locked it up. And then we get to his truck, and we're sitting there letting it warm up, because it was winter, and we hear like something's fiddling with it, or like rubbing over like the microphone area on it, and we're like, no way.
Wow.
Like the whole 2 or 3 hours we're in there, nothing. The second we leave, now there's activity.
Yep.
So we were like, all right. So we sat in, listened some more. Then we drove off. We are still within range from where we were going, and that was probably it for that. And then when we went back and listened to audio, we had probably the craziest thing I've heard on EVP recordings, and it wasn't a voice. It was upstairs in this house. There was like something like a total gym, or like a small weight bench kind of a thing. And you heard it, what sounded like as if something lifted it and just dropped it, because it was the loudest sound. And other than that, there was nothing in this house. No boxes stacked, nothing that could have just fell over. So it's like, what the hell could that have been? You know? So that was probably the most craziest thing, just like not expecting to hear it. You know, you're going through the recorder, the timestamp, and you just hear this loud thud, and you're like, no way. So that's probably the craziest thing I've encountered, aside from the footsteps happening live, you know, and hearing them.
That was insane. That was an insane event.
Well, yeah, but that warehouse, that was really good, because we were trying to communicate with something, and we were recording, and you can hear it walking up in like the basement type area in the warehouse, and you would just hear it faintly. And the biggest thing whenever something like that happens is you're just like, I pray to God audio capture that, because it's more sensitive than your ears, so you would expect it, but that's not always the case. You know, because at least with that's something to help corroborate a story, because otherwise it's just a story.
Yeah.
You can't prove it to somebody. So, yeah, that was another really good example.
The best part about that was you were doing your core thing
Yes.
for beta. Liza was doing her core thing for alpha.
Right.
You guys were on either side of me.
Yes.
And this, just footsteps. This thing was
Right.
pacing back and forth. And I might mention, remember the picture of the butcher?
Yes.
We caught up there, some guy with a beard, like a metal apron. I can Facebook that to you, or post it on our website on Facebook if anybody wants to see it. That was crazy, because that was in the same, it was something about that corner in that attic. Because we had climbed over there, well, did you? You didn't do your, I did the classic fall on that one, didn't I?
The what?
The classic fall, the Margie fall.
Oh, my phone?
Yeah,
Yeah, you took my thunder away.
I did actually. Margie, let me say, every case, and this is endearing,
I fall.
she falls, at least once.
I fall in holes. I fall on ice.
You fall off rafters in
There's-
theaters.
Yes.
That scared me. That scared me. Oh, right across the street here, the Sherman Theater.
I went right. I think there was a bar there where my foot landed on, else I would have gone straight there. Yeah.
Well, you remember
Okay.
you saved that equipment that night on the ice.
Yes, and you saved my head.
Yes, I did. She landed.
I went.
It was like a
Man, he
domino.
put his hand under my head. Good thing.
And
Yeah.
she-
but
she
I had
was
the
on her
equipment.
butt.
Hold tight.
She was on her butt holding equipment in the air. I had her head, and she looks up. She goes, "It didn't drop, did it?" I goes, no, it's fine. It was just a couple K2 meters, you know. And I think we had a recording device in there sometime. But yeah, that warehouse was insane, and that was in where the heck was it, Rob?
West Wyoming.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I always think state.
No.
Yeah, West Wyoming.
Yeah, up on my way.
I won't say where, but
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the only other story I want to say, and it's probably because I don't know if you've heard of it, but since Tony can't be here, this is something he experienced. I didn't, but it was a house that I went to with him after the fact.
Okay, Rob, let me stop you there.
Sure.
We have K2 meters, we have EVP, we have core alpha, core beta. Before you go further down this road,
Okay.
not everybody knows what that is, so somebody just explain what those things are, please.
Okay.
Not everybody knows.
Okay, well, I mean, Core Beta is a group that myself, my friend Tony, who couldn't be here today, and my fiancee Susie, we basically take part in, because we're about like an hour and a half away from John. So I'm from down like by the Scranton area, so we kind of do things there, but we're still under the Core name. So it's just It's just a like a subsidiary or an affiliate, if you want to call it that.
And Johnny calls himself C.O.R.E Alpha.
Yeah.
Does
Before
he think
this.
she's Alpha.
You know, I always hated that name for that reason. It's like, no matter which way you put it, it's going to make one of the teams look lesser. I want to go on record by saying that is definitely not the case in this particular case. They are just as important as we.
No, because that's as close as you get to Alpha. That's the
Exactly. That's it. There's nothing more.
And
But-
EVP.
As far as the
What does it
acronym,
mean?
EVP, electronic voice phenomenon.
Thank you.
It's essentially just when you capture something, and it doesn't have to be a voice. It could be footsteps. It could be, yeah. Think of like a war location like Gettysburg. It could be a gunshot, a cannonball shot. It could be anything that doesn't happen, like physically happen in your in our world. Think of it that way. Like a playback in time, really. So it doesn't have to be a voice, but that's what that is. It's something that's captured on another audio frequency that our ears generally shouldn't be able to pick up.
And a K2 meter.
K2 meter. It's basically. I like to refer to it as a digital Ouija board. It's a type of EMF detector, electromagnetic field device. It picks up anything organic, man-made, an electrical device, an outlet. Anything like that, but also too the theory is that it picks up energy that spirits give off, because we as human beings have energy in our bodies, and when we pass, that has to go somewhere, whether it's who knows where. Again, it's all theory based, but yeah, that's what an EMF detector is. But
And a K2 meter is just one of the brand names for that.
Yeah.
It's used in mechanics. Checking engines,
anything really. Yeah, you can use it in your home to like check your electrical box. It's just used for checking electrical bleed out from devices.
And the theory as it goes is when you have a cold spot in any generalized location in a house or whatever, if you have a drastic temperature drop, you pull that out because something is pulling energy from that area, leaving a deficit of energy, which heat is energy, and that will pick that up. It will pick that heat, electromagnetic heat energy up. Better than most, even a Mel meter. I prefer a K2 over a Mel meter.
Well, it's
which
nice
is
in the
another
dark
brand
because it doesn't use a
with a light up screen.
Yeah, it doesn't use a screen with numbers. It's just like I said. I'd like to call it a digital Ouija board.
I never heard that before.
Or an
You said that.
electronic Ouija board. That's why I like it, because again, in the dark you can see it, and it's very good for doing communication, yes, no, things of that nature. Rather than trying to read a display with a flashlight or a backlight. So
Right.
I have a question then. A bit of a dumb joke, a bit of something serious. So if there was a ghost war, it would have to be in summer. And then also, that's not the joke. Is there more paranormal experiences more in the summertime when there's more heat, or in areas that are hotter to draw,
It's
as
just,
opposed to like colder areas?
in my experience, it's year round. It's 24/7. The thing is, in the wintertime, you're heating your house. So you're using, am I picking up okay?
Yeah.
All right. You're heating your house, so you're going to have energy output there as far as the heat goes. I don't care if it's pellets, I don't care if it's oil, whatever it is, it's putting out heat.
Yeah.
Now, in the summertime, when things are dark and still and creepy, like tonight, I'm sure, with this oppressive humidity, you're still going to have heat. But now you're getting it solar and reflecting, radiant. So it's the same thing. So wherever there's heat, these critters, and I don't want to liken them to cockroaches, but they're going to find a way to, and I say this term, use this term loosely as well, they're going to find a way to survive.
Yeah.
They're not surviving, obviously, but they're going to find a way to manifest. They're going to find a way to come back. If they have a message to deliver, they'll do it, eventually. But that answers the question, I think. I trailed there a little bit, didn't I?
No, that's fine.
All right, it's time for a commercial break. We'll be right back, guys, with C.O.R.E Paranormal, Beta, and Alpha.
Representing.
So we'll be right back. Just a couple minutes.
Does that make me Gamma?
Have you read written a book, you can become a published author with Dorrance Publishing, the nation's oldest publishing services company. Countless authors have trusted Dorrance for nearly 100 years to bring their book to the market. Our professional team will edit your text, design your book pages, and create an appealing, eye-catching custom cover. Plus, our authors benefit from a custom book promotion marketing campaign that makes your book available where people buy books, like Amazon and brick-and-mortar bookstores. So make this free call right now to claim your free author's guide to publishing. Don't wait another day. Take one step closer to realizing your dream of becoming a published author and seeing your name in print. You've already written a book, so the next thing to do is make this free call right now to Dorrance Publishing and get your free guide to publishing. Call right now.
800-847-1362. 800-847-1362. That's 800-847-1362.
If you're struggling to pay or haven't been making your student loan payments, listen carefully to this urgent alert. Have you been out of school for 10 or more years and you're still making your student loan payments? Are your student loans past due or even in default? Can't go back to school because of an old student loan problem? We can help you if you qualify. Your student loans can be taken out of default. We can stop the wage garnishments, stop the collection calls, and stop the seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and see if we can help you reduce your student loan payments. One quick 10-minute call could solve them right now. So call the Student Loan Helpline now. 800-731-7534, 800-731-7534, 800-731-7534, 800-731-7534. This is a fee-based document preparation service to help you access free government programs. Call for complete details, not available in all states.
Looking for high-speed internet where you live but are out of reach of cable and fiber options? Look no further. High-speed internet is now available in your area as your local...
I'm Liza Hotchkiss. And I'm Johnny Hotchkiss, and we are C.O.R.E Phenomena Research. And you're listening to Glenda's Dragon's Den on Wild FM.
Welcome back to Glenda's Dragon's Den. I'm Glenda, your host, and we have C.O.R.E Paranormal here today with us, sharing ghost campfires or campfires, whatever. Anyway, Rob, you were going to tell us this really cool story?
Yes, my colleague Tony, who can't be here today, he would want me to share this story. It's something I didn't experience with him, unfortunately, but it's creepy, and it's something that he admittedly said it almost made him quit. So basically, where him and his wife used to live, there was these people that he was friends with, and I think they were renting a house. I don't believe they owned it, but they claimed to have odd things going on, and they asked Tony if he can go down there and take a look. So basically, some things happened in this house that scared Tony, and the worst part is going to be at the end of the story here. But some of the creepy things about it were in the basement. We had some EVPs. One of the ones was of an older woman that we would get a response from.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, if we would tell her, we would be like moving stuff in the basement. Like allegedly, there were like mason jars of things that were supposedly hers. So we got something like that. But what Tony experienced was at one point he witnessed the doorknob to the basement door. It was jiggling from like as if something from the other side of it was trying to open the door. The door never opened, but it jiggled for like a good solid couple of seconds. It's one of those classic examples though where you didn't get it on video, so
Mm-hmm.
it's just a good story. But after that, when they had the EVP recorder, the electronic voice phenomenon digital recorder going on in the basement, he captured this audio, and I really wish I had it with me for you guys, but it was a sequence of sounds that sounded like somebody had taken their life in this basement. And what it was you would hear walking around, then eventually you would hear like someone trying to light a lighter, and you would hear like the slight sizzle of like somebody maybe lighting either a cigar or a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
And then shortly after that, you would hear something moving around, something heavy, wooden, and then you would hear like a step. And then you would start hearing a rope, like tightening, and you just heard like this wooden thing that this person probably stepped up onto, and they just stepped off it. The thing fell over, and you just heard like the rope tighten, and like it was the craziest thing. So like he showed me that one time, and he said, "What does that sound like to you?" And I said, "It's like someone went down there. They wanted to have their last cigarette, and for whatever reason, they felt they had to take their life, and they hung themselves in this basement." It was the wildest EVP I've ever heard at that point in my life. And after that happened to Tony, when he was clearing his things up and he went out for the night after it kind of got tame as far as activity goes, he said he gets out to his truck, he turns around, he sees this black silhouette in this window, because it was just like a large window right off the porch into the living room with like a sheer curtain. And he's like, something was staring out at me. And he said it seemed like, and I'm sure a lot of people experience the same thing, it seemed like a lifetime. But it was probably maybe like 5 seconds, not even.
Right.
But he's like, I felt like I was just staring at this thing for like 5 minutes or longer. And all of a sudden, it doesn't like turn around and walk away. It almost like, it goes like this, and then it just kind of goes like diagonal, but like down into the floor. It was the creepiest thing he said he's ever experienced, and he said he couldn't sleep at all that whole night afterwards when he got home. And he stayed up, and he's like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. That was like I don't even know what to say about that.
Right.
And that was probably, to this point, his scariest thing that's happened to him. I know he's had like scratches and things, as far as investigations that happen afterwards. But that he'll always tell you, it almost made him stop at that point. And again, that's one of those things to go back on me saying I never saw an apparition, but I don't know how that would affect me. I'd like to see it. I prefer like to capture it to show people, but that's just one of those things,
And maybe that's why they're not showing themselves to
It's
you,
very
'cause,
possible. It's very possible.
You want to see it, but you're like,
If you put off that energy,
Right.
they won't.
Yeah, and people tell
Right.
me I'm just not open enough, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. One day, I'm like, I don't know.
I'm going to say it out loud. You're like the Egon of the team. You really are. And that's okay, too. People's personalities are different. But in the same token, you don't leave yourself open to a lot of this stuff. And
No.
I'm surprised you heard those footsteps and were able to record those
Yeah.
at the warehouse in West Wyoming.
Yeah, that was why that was great for me, because to me, again, that's the second best thing that can happen to you, is just to have that in the moment.
Right.
Especially because it's not all action, it's not all excitement, and
No,
this
it's
kind of
a
stuff can,
scientific event.
yeah, and this stuff can kind of get boring when stuff's not happening that you're looking for.
Yeah, guys, all you see on the TV shows are the exciting parts. Let me tell
yes,
you that.
it's
Yeah,
hours
yeah,
and hours and hours.
Yeah, video editing. But yeah, that excitement though, that's real. Like when that happens in the moment, it gets your adrenaline going, it gets you pumped up.
Right.
And wants you and when it happens, then you're like, great, something's here. Let me interact. Let me ask more questions. And
That thing didn't want to interact with us. That thing wanted to scare us.
Yeah.
He wanted us out of his territory. You could feel that when Tony and I were upstairs in that warehouse in the attic.
Right.
And something, again, like he said about that dark shadow.
Right.
Something was up there darker than black. If you've ever seen shadow beings, which I'm sure we all
Yes.
have.
Yes.
This wasn't even peripherally. I was seeing this dead on. No pun intended. And it would come over to me, and I could feel it was so close to me. I wasn't feeling cold. I was feeling heat. And Tony, it affected Tony as well in a moment. I won't say how.
Right.
But he was pretty shaken up by it, and he caught some of this on pictures as well. But
Yeah.
all you're seeing are black blobs.
Right.
Prove what it is.
Right.
We knew what it was. We were there. But that's why I'm not saying you can't share data, but we were talking about this pre-show.
Right.
It's important to know exactly what you're looking at on a photo, because people can try and fool you constantly.
Yep.
Yep. So you got to be careful.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of people that just for the fame and the and the name and all that stuff will, try to fake things.
Yes.
That lovely
It's unfortunate, but
Facebook app that was going around a few years ago. Remember the guy at the
Yes.
Skytop Lodge?
Yep.
When
Oh,
he
yeah.
showed me that picture, I didn't know what to say to him.
Oh, it was so fake.
A strong Spanish accent.
Right.
Man, I see this right here. And he shows me this picture, and here it was one of those Facebook apps that inserts a ghost into the photo. It was a little girl or something.
It was so fake, it was pathetic.
Yeah, and I didn't know I didn't want to make him feel like an idiot, because I knew, I was onto him.
Right,
I caught him. But I was like, oh, interesting. Well, I'll be seeing you. And that was the
Yeah,
end of calling him.
interesting. It's such an interesting word.
Yeah,
It is a
indeed
good.
it is.
Yes.
Sometimes you just have to humor people.
Yes. Yes. And just so they can
You're
continue on their merry way, and that's it.
You're not talking about the Ukrainian case, are you?
Oh my God.
Go ahead, Margie.
Go ahead.
Tell us about the Ukrainian
Forget
case,
about that one.
Margie.
Was the chickens or something? Remember, that's when they made the chicken for us. Remember?
Yeah, I do, and they were filthy people.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You know that story,
Yeah.
but is that the one where you had problems up in the attic?
Yeah, I had depression.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I forget the rest of it though.
Well, tell about depression.
Yeah.
You were
Oh,
experiencing.
you
I don't
were-
remember much of it.
Oh my God, you were like scared shitless.
Can you say that?
Yeah, he was like white. I mean, he was like, oh my God, John, what happened to you? I thought he was going to pass out.
Ooh.
He couldn't breathe. Yeah, he was really scared. I don't know. I wasn't up there in the attic with him. I don't
Right.
know exactly what happened, but when he came down, I can only imagine.
It was pretty rough. I don't remember much of it myself, like I said. I was fine.
Right.
What was trying to come through me?
Yeah.
You
was
didn't look
not good.
fine.
No, I was okay. I really was. I mean,
You didn't look it.
No, I have pictures of that. There was 2 pictures that they took while I was in that state, and what was I, like 34 years old or something like that at that point, and yeah, I'll be turning 47. I don't care, who knows, but the chicken was a little bit of a comedic thing. But you remember what the woman told us that she wanted us to do a return visit? Do you remember what she told us?
No, I don't.
Well, I'll have to say it then. I wanted you to deliver this because you'll remember when I say it. She told us the Grim Reaper appeared and chased her around her bed.
Oh yeah.
And
oh,
I'm sorry,
yeah,
all I
yeah.
can hear is yakety sax playing in the background. You know, and they're going like 3/4 speed. And so that was interesting.
Yeah.
But there was something in that house, but they were overawed by having something in their house, feeding more energy to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people do that. A lot of people.
Well, you know, you want to believe that something's there, so you know, you believe it.
Right.
There's something there. I want to believe there's something there, and you just see things that aren't there.
Right. And then some people actually create altars to bring things in.
Right.
That, they should not really be messing with.
If you don't know how to catch, you better not pitch.
Exactly.
And that's as a matter of fact, a voodoo woman, a voodoo practitioner told me that years ago.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to pitch, you better not, or if you don't know how to catch, you better not pitch, Mom.
Yep.
And I remember her saying it to me.
And a lot of people don't listen to them because their greed and their desire for fame. Because then they could announce it to everybody. Get a team in there. Team finds something, no matter, how small.
Or they want to publish a book.
Right,
Yeah.
the Amityville
Oh, please.
syndrome. Which, I'm sorry, I'm still
Yeah.
on the fence about the Amityville thing. I really am. I still say the DeFeo, is that what the name was?
Yes, Robert DeVay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They were looking for money. It was a cash grab. I still say that. Because that one classic photo
Yeah.
of the eyes, that was one of the investigators leaning down with glasses on. I'm sorry. But then again, I wasn't there.
Right. But
So.
the thing is, it's so many people that try to do that. And I'm thinking to myself, you're opening up this somewhat of a portal to bring something in. I hope you know how to manage that, because I certainly don't want to keep going in
I was
there.
going to say, that's why people like us exist.
Right.
All of us.
I know. It's like-
That's why we are here doing what we do,
Right.
because they don't know how to manage
No.
that stuff.
And with that, Johnny, we'll start with you and we'll go down the line. What do you think of Ouija boards?
Ouija boards are just like any other form of divination. It's like I always say, you can have a hammer. What can you do with a hammer? You can pick up a hammer and you can kill somebody with it. Or you can build a beautiful mansion.
Right.
Well, the same thing goes for tools of divination, such as the Ouija board, such as pendulums, rune stones, you name it. It depends on how it's utilized, but you have to know how to protect yourself if you're going to do that. Otherwise, you're asking for, as you said, a world of hurt with portals and things.
Yeah.
That you don't know what's going to come out of something like that.
But Johnny, if you know how to protect yourself,
Yes.
you need the board.
Well, no. The board is just an extension of what you are. But I think the visual helps people to ascertain what they're looking at, if you take my meaning.
Or focus.
Focus on, yeah,
Right.
it's a form of focus. Actually, Margie would be the best person to ask about that.
About what?
Divination with
well,
your...
let's go down the
I'm
line.
just saying
With the
yeah,
rods.
Yeah. But that's my uptake on the whole thing. Rob?
I don't believe in Ouija boards. It's just
Well, they don't
It's-
believe in you either, Rob.
it's you used the word I was going to use, focus. It's about focus and concentration on something that you want to communicate with. I mean, a Ouija board is made out of the same materials as a board game. There's no magic involved, in my opinion. It's just you trying to focus, whether it's by yourself or with another person. It's no different than a seance, just minus a Ouija board or a crystal ball, whatever. Yeah, it's just you trying to focus on what you're trying to contact and communicate with. I don't think there's anything spiritual, anything magical about Ouija boards. I don't want to offend anybody, but that's how I feel about it. And if you want to communicate with someone, you don't need a Ouija board. You just have to. You just have to want to. Yeah.
Right.
I guess the same reason why I don't see things is because I'm not open, or I guess I don't want to enough as I feel I am.
You're saying intention is stronger.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
You're afraid to see something.
Well, that's why I said it's I'm 50-50 on it. I love to, but I don't know how it would affect me mentally. Tony's story.
You're kind of on the cusp right there now, so I understand.
Right. Yeah.
That was good, actually.
Now, John and I have seen things together. Remember that Pocono Lake house?
Yes.
We were in one room. Was it Pocono Lake?
Pocono Pines.
Pocono
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. We were in one room, and there was a hallway and a little alcove like a washing machine and dryer, and we saw it looked like a shadow. It looked like Darth Vader.
Oh, wow.
Remember that?
Yeah, it was just solid black shadow.
Yeah. And then the time you went back with Josh, and I wasn't there, but you were saying how, well, you can tell the story better. The shadow was walking back and forth between the two of you.
It was pacing, yeah. And not only that, but we were seeing shadows in the living room. Now, this house, talk about tiny homes. You turned around once, you've seen it 3 times. It was, I think, 990 square feet.
If
it was
that.
just a little cottage.
If that, it was small.
Tiny.
Just had a living room, a kitchen, and a bedroom. That was it.
Yeah, and there was a back room there, too, remember? A little tiny back storage room.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
where you were sitting at one point, I think. But, these shadows were converging in the living room. We were in the bedroom just looking out through that hallway Margie had described before, and we could see one walk in. Another would walk in. And of course, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to hit the lights and see if your sanity's there.
Right.
As soon as you hit the lights, everything's gone. Obviously, because it's shadow. They're absorbing light.
Right.
You turn it back off, right back they come. And the one she said was Darth Vader. Now, let me just clarify. This didn't have eyes.
No. It's just the shape
was that
of it.
big. It was just hulking.
Right.
And just stood there and ominously stared us down. And, I mean, every time we take a photo, though, you take a photo, you would get a burst of orbs.
Right.
That's it. There was no shadow being in the picture, which is a shame because catching something like that would have been incredible.
It was huge. It was dark and huge, and you could not miss it.
That's the one I worked with Johnny Zaffis on, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Because he had been consulted about that, and I called him. Yeah. Wonderful guy, Johnny Zaffis.
Yeah.
He helped me a lot with that case. He really did. Because it was a. I hate to sound like Shrek, but it was an onion. It had layers to this case. There was so many different components. One being somebody within the house had a severe psychological disturbance.
Right.
I won't get
And
into
that happens a lot.
Yes,
too.
it does.
Yes.
And hey, you'd be surprised how many times that can draw something.
Yeah.
And people don't even realize they're doing it. Well, like the case in Bethlehem. When we had the Franks, the one you had, that got to be a nuisance.
Yeah. The one that kept calling us back. Yeah.
Well, yeah, she, we did the best we could for her, but we had the Frank's box, one of our Frank's boxes set up there. Now, what
She was sending me pictures that some of those pictures, they were not real.
They couldn't have been.
No.
I think that was an attention grab, but at the same token, she unleashed something on her own.
Right.
Not to mention the fact where she lived, it was townhouses. Beautiful. But the EMF readings outside would have fried a squirrel.
There was all electrical towers
Just
and
out.
wire right behind the house.
Well, like the one in Bangor as well. All those towers out behind with the EMF coming off of it. It's one of those people can think properly.
Now, just for our audience, what can EMF fields that are not produced by ghosts, but like from power lines, what can those do to a person?
Electromagnetic fields, basically, one of the things it does is it'll draw the iron that's in your brain and start you to cause hallucination. After a long exposed period of time, can cause tumors. It gets very obstructive to the physical human thought process. But it just has that constant. It's like having a magnet next to your head constantly. Or people that are getting tumors from cell phones. Same principle. Because they put off a decent amount of EMF. Cell phones. I said before Frank's box too, and I want to clarify because Larry had wanted us to describe. A Frank's box is nothing more than a broken Tandy Radio Shack radio. They're hard to get a hold of anymore. It's this particular brand. But we do have 2 of them. And what you do is take it apart, take out the piece that makes it stop on a station, and it will cycle simultaneously, all the frequencies. And utilized during this time period, you listen to it, you ask questions, you'll get fragmented yet positive, solid answers back. And that's what this device does. And like I said, it's nothing more than a broken radio.
Right.
But for our intents and purposes, works.
That's we got that real good one on up in Canadensis.
Yes, yeah. That
On the
was,
Frank's box.
and
That was a real good one.
The frog come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one we played here last time.
Oh, was it? Okay.
But Margaret, Margie,
Marge.
divination?
Oh, I have dowsing rods.
Yeah.
And they really, they work. I can just hold them and ask a question, and they'll move. And I'm not moving them at all. I'm just holding them still. And it will ask questions, and it will answer.
Oh, I love those.
So you're a dowser.
Yes.
I'm sorry?
You're a dowser?
Yeah. Well, on the cases, yeah.
You're dowsing.
Yeah, I'm dowsing. Yeah.
But you also might want to inform them what also you bring to the team as far as your Reiki goes.
Well, that really doesn't, well, I help you with it.
Well,
but
yeah, of course, but you're also, I think it opens up your sensitivity to
Probably.
With your connection
Knowing,
to the-
yeah, the energy and stuff, and all my crystals and everything. Yeah. It opens you up.
So where do you sit on Ouija boards?
Usually in
I'm
the
here
park,
there.
right? You sit on Ouija boards in the park, don't you?
What?
I don't know. He asked, where do you sit on Ouija boards?
It was a Phil joke.
Never mind, it's gone. It's
Oh,
gone.
that went over
The
my
moment
head.
passed already.
That went over my head. Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
That's not the palette I'm looking for.
Oh. That's just
Is this
a
the Ghost
guy.
Show? Where's
I don't know.
That.
Yeah, you got that one right.
We've been dinged. I think we've all been dinged.
Yep, we have.
You got that one.
That gets a donk.
Everybody's a freaking critic.
But anyway, now not to disturb you. Go ahead,
So-
Margie.
Now,
What about Ouija boards? I mean,
I don't think much of. I don't
Yeah.
think much of them. I don't think they're healthy to play with.
Right.
Because people, like you said, they're going to believe what comes out of it, and
Right.
it's their mind that's creating the answers.
right.
Stuff they're forcing it the
No.
answers.
And
And you
sometimes
can-
open with
Right, and
intention. You
can
open
come
something.
up with things, and
Yeah.
you know it's not true, and you're gonna.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't.
No, I don't. I don't like them either. Not
I
because
mean,
of
I
anything.
have used them when I was
Right.
in my
Young.
youth.
Yeah.
You know, have fun with them, but no, I wouldn't do it now.
Yeah. No, I usually what I tell people is just give it to me. I'll go bury it.
We've
because
done
because they play around with them in their home. Their intention. The intention is so intense because they know that this is going to give them answers, you know, and they don't realize you could use that same intention with dowsing rods, you could use it with pendulums, you could use it with anything or nothing and still get your answers. But they use so much energy that they actually open a portal, you know, and then they can't manage it. Can't manage what's coming through. And then they start with
Then
the
they get
cabinet
freaked out.
doors opening and closing
Mm-hmm.
and all that stuff. And then they call for help.
When they've created the whole thing themselves
Exactly.
with their mind.
Exactly.
Like a tulpa. A self-manifested spirit.
Yeah.
Saying that you're
Yeah.
creating it from nothingness.
Yeah.
And what does that say about our human intention and our abilities of our own minds, even in the singularity, to be able to manifest something that has never existed?
Yeah.
Well, your mind always is playing tricks on you.
Yeah.
Right. Well, in psychology, they say that you're, and this I don't know if I agree with, but you're manifesting your own reality through hallucination. I just read that. Doesn't it? It's weird, but it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense.
Well, if you
So-
think about it, here we go. If you think about it, you're only processing the world through limited senses. Like dogs can smell better than we can. There's animals that can see way better than we can. So there could be all kinds of weird stuff happening in this room right now. We have no idea what's going on because we have a very limited sort of view of reality. Air quotes.
That's put very well, Ashley.
I try.
That was good. You should write on that guy again.
Buy my non-existent book. I'm hallucinating it right now.
And on that note, we're going to take a commercial break
And hallucinate some books.
and we're going to hallucinate some books. We'll be right back, guys.
Looking for high-speed internet where you live but are out of reach of cable and fiber options? Look no further. High-speed internet is now available in your area as your local authorized HughesNet retailer, Whole Home Connect, makes it easy to get the high-speed internet you need with blazing fast speeds, unlimited data with no hard data limits, with built-in Wi-Fi for as little as $2 a day. Act now and for a limited time, get free standard installation and free equipment with HughesNet from Whole Home Connect. You'll enjoy internet service that lets you do more of everything you want to do online, like shopping, surfing, and staying in touch. Call Whole Home Connect and see for yourself why HughesNet is America's #1 choice for satellite internet.
800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. That's 800-696-2871.
When I need a cut, I go to Diamond Cuts. Ain't no half cutting there. Oh, yeah. Woo, man, at Diamond Cuts, their barbers got the freshest styles. Anything from fades, Caesars, high tops, blowouts, shape-up, tape-ups, and much more. Their barbers can cut men, women, children, young and old. Stop by Diamond Cut at 144 Pocono Boulevard in Mount Pocono, PA. Or just call at 570-216-4912. Ain't no half cutting there, baby paw. Yo, Stan, yo, Ant, yo, Black, yo, Light Skin, yo, E, where y'all at?
Are you an active stock market investor? Well, then you know these 3 key words: buy, sell, hold. Those 3 magic words can make or lose you money in the stock market. What if we can show you a time-tested tool that's been helping stock market investors succeed for over 30 years? It's called VectorVest, an amazing system designed to make smart investing easy. The VectorVest system analyzes, sorts, and ranks over 19,000 stocks every day and tells you when to buy, what to buy, and when to sell any stock to maximize your profits in less than 10 minutes a day. And if you call right now, you can test drive our amazing VectorVest system risk-free for 30 days for just $9.95.
800-958-0341. 800-958-0341. 800-958-0341. That's 800-958-0341.
If you're struggling to pay or haven't been making your student loan payments, listen carefully to this urgent alert. Have you been out of school for 10 or more years and you're still making your student loan payments? Are your student loans past due or even in default? Can't go back to school because of an old student loan problem? We can help you if you qualify. Your student loans can be taken out of default. We can stop the wage garnishments, stop the collection calls, and stop the seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and see if we can help you reduce your student loan payments. One quick 10-minute call could solve them right now. So call the Student Loan Helpline now. 800-731-7534, 800-731-7534, 800-731-7534, 800-731-7534. This is a fee-based document preparation service to help you access free government programs. Call for complete details, not available in all states.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug or alcohol addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan to receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits so that you have low or no out-of-pocket costs. We quickly help you verify your health insurance coverage amounts for substance abuse treatment so you can prepare for immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center now. Select from locations nationwide while receiving up to $30,000 or more in coverage through your private health insurance PPO plan if eligible. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier matching service available 24/7. We help you use your PPO private health insurance with low or no out-of-pocket costs.
Call now, 800-961-2480. 800-961-2480. 800-961-2480. 800-961-2480. That's 800-961-2480.
Have you written a book? You can become a published author with Dorrance Publishing, the nation's oldest publishing services company. Countless authors have trusted Dorrance for nearly 100 years to bring their book to the market. Our professional team will edit your text, design your book pages, and create an appealing, eye-catching custom cover. Plus, our authors benefit from a custom book promotion marketing campaign that makes your book available where people buy books, like Amazon and brick-and-mortar bookstores. So make this free call right now to claim your free author's guide to publishing. Don't wait another day. Take one step closer to realizing your dream of becoming a published author and seeing your name in print. You've already written a book, so the next thing to do is make this free call right now to Dorrance Publishing and get your free guide to publishing. Call right now.
800-847-1362. 800-847-1362. That's 800-847-1362.
Hi, this is Chip Reichenthal, author of Even the Dead Won't Tell You the Truth and proud host of Kindness Beyond the Veil. You are listening to the phenomenal Glenda's Dragon's Den right here on WYLD-FM.
Hi everyone, this is Glenda Dawson from Glenda's Dragon's Den. Welcome back. We have today C.O.R.E Paranormal with us. We're talking about a lot of campfire stories and a lot of things that everyone has experienced here. I know a few people have requested my website again, just to so I could tell you exactly what I do and I don't do. Just go to glendasdragonsden.com and you will see 4 buttons there. The first button is for my paranormal stuff, for Reiki, life coaching, so on, so on. That's Glenda's Magical Creations button. Then you could go to the Essential Oils button, which I use, and I recommend everybody should have a few of them at their house for whatever ailments, even if you're going through a panic attack, just to calm down, set the mood, set everything perfect.
And those are doTERRA.
doTERRA, yes.
So
And
they're the Cadillac of essential oils.
yes.
And you can coach people if they have questions. They can go to your Glenda's Dragon's Den and you can tell them where to stick the oil.
Wow. Okay, anyway. We are going to make t-shirts at some point, guys, and it's going to say I apologize in advance in the front and a big wow in the back with the Dragon's Den logo.
And we should have like a dragon tail sticking out the back on the bottom. Not like sticking out, but like a dragon tail on the bottom of the back of the shirt. That'd be awesome.
Okay, anyway, and it's getting worse. Then I also have non-lethal stuff for protection that I use. Pepper
You
spray.
talking about magic? Oh,
Pepper spray.
Pepper spray.
Yeah, pepper. Yeah, shut up. Thank you. You're letting me do this. You're making me do this. Shh, quiet. Anyway.
Like I could make you do anything.
There's tasers and all that other stuff, and that is under the Force to be Reckoned button. And then...
That's for shock value.
And then... What do I have
No
now?
and then.
No and then.
And then?
And then... And I don't remember what I have else up there.
All right, so
Wow.
your CBD oil.
Oh, the CBD oil.
You took too much of it. You couldn't remember.
No, I have to deal with that.
So you need more CBD oil.
That's why I take the
When
CBD
you need
oil.
when you need more CBD oil, go to Glenda'sMagicalCreations.com. Bring that
Anyway.
one back from the dead.
My CBD oils that I use every single day. And there's just not oils, people. There's gummy bears, there's edibles, there's vitamins, there's for health, beauty, for animals, dogs and cats.
And that's from CTFO.
It's from CTFO.
And why do you use CTFO CBD oil?
Because I have a lot of illnesses, a lot of chronic.
But why do you use CTFO?
Oh, that particular one?
Yes.
Because that's the only one that worked for me. So,
Okay.
Anyway.
And they also have an empty bottle.
Oh, the empty bottle warranty. 60 days you can use the products, and if it doesn't work for you, or for whatever reason you want to return it, you could actually return it completely empty. So if you use the product and you gave it a good chance to work, not just a week or whatever, because you really can't tell if something's really working that quickly.
Well, that's the nature of CBD oil.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't always affect the area you think you need it in first.
Mm-hmm.
It goes where it's needed the most, and that's why it takes sometimes a month or so before it gives you the relief you're looking for.
Right.
But you've relieved yourself on many occasions.
Like I said, wow, wow, and wow. Johnny, so how
Yes,
you doing?
Glenda, I'm good over here.
Well, if you're relieving yourself now, I hope you're wearing Depends.
Guys, who doesn't like a good fart joke? Okay, first off, kudos, Larry. Good job. You know what they say? George Carlin, I think, put it the best. Farts are fun. That's why kids like farts. Farts are poop without the mess. So farts
Sometimes.
Are well, yeah, never trust a fart, Margie.
Well, that's not a fart, that's a shart.
Yes.
I apologize in advance.
Why you're gonna do it?
It's already been done.
Oh, no.
The bell cannot be unrung. Consciousness slowly slips.
Bell soils.
I'm sorry, Johnny. Your
That's all right.
cracker
No,
is.
just reminding me I have to go back to work tomorrow. Everybody knows what I do.
Yeah, I'm not cleaning that up.
No, I am.
I know.
Okay, Laura's going to let me
Like
follow
Cynthia
on
says,
for the
the
segment
charge
on
of our
farts.
lives.
I know.
But that's all good. Shall I?
Yes, please.
Okay. What I'm holding here, folks, is the...
Wait a minute. It's not that kind of show.
Oh, my God.
You scared
Come
the
on,
crap
doesn't she
out of
look good to you?
Margie.
Come on. Anyway, it's Ghosts of the Poconos. This is by Laura Laydick Hoffman, and her first name is spelled L''A''U''R''A. I get no kickback from this whatsoever, other than having the honor of being in the book.
I'll kick you.
You can kick me. Just get my back. Let's go.
You're missing it.
Wait till the ribs heal.
Okay.
You're gonna have a license with my beagle for pulling me off my porch. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened. Didn't I tell you guys?
Yes.
I did see it on Facebook.
All right. Well,
I'm
there
like,
it is.
oh, that beagle's in
Yeah,
the
he
doghouse
snagged-
now.
He snagged me. No, I love him just as much. He snagged me, clotheslined me. I went backwards. I mean, you should have had the cartoon sound effects going.
You shouldn't let him watch the WWE.
Why can't I see him in a little bodysuit? Gotta get you now. That's our dog's voice. I do voices for our dogs. We're nuts. Anyway, Ghosts of the Poconos, Laura Laydick Hoffman. We were interviewed for, I believe, 5 chapters in here. It's full of pictures, different, just locations and alleged ghostly pictures.
Show that cover again. That's a sexy cover.
That
Look
is
at
a
that
sexy
font.
cover.
Ooh.
I don't know if you can
Ooh,
see
hi
that.
there, font.
That's a delay there.
Yes.
That's all right. But yeah, it's pretty good artwork there. I'm not sure who did that, though. But I will show you the little
Well, they'll have to pick up the freaking book then to see it, won't they?
You will. Just go on. It's actually, I'm glad you said that, Larry. It's on Amazon.com. And it's readily available. It does sell out intermittently, but I don't know if the people at home can see when we did the Shawnee Inn. Now, unfortunately, Rob's not in this picture, but Margie is. And Josh is in there, myself. Josh is the one under the ghost sheet. But it was after we had done our ghost tours, and we were just letting off a little steam. It's in the Worthington Ballroom.
Usually you can't give a sheet.
Boy, the puns are fast and furious tonight. Oh, I don't think you ever had a ghost of a chance.
Wow.
All right.
Oh.
Thank you. Just do the bong. I deserve it. I just... wait for it. Shame. Shame.
Shame. Shame.
Oh, please. The welts will never go away.
That's what you pay me for.
Well, that's true. Anyway, that's my story on this book. And thank you again, Laura, for including us in the chapters. And the extensive interviews you did and the wonderful work you did for us with this. It's terrific.
So that's your story, and you're sticking.
I'm sticking to it.
There you go.
I'm also sticking to the seat.
Yes. It's as much as this AC is on, it's
No,
not
it's not even that.
working.
I sweat when it's cool. No, with this, it's insane.
Well, you dressed for it.
Yeah,
I
you're
did.
dressed for it.
Well, honey,
Yeah.
when you're talking to Margie, I thought you had me. I was going to say anything less, I'd be naked, and you don't want that on video.
Oh, God.
So,
No.
Thank you.
Not that kind of show either.
No, it isn't. Thank God. Right?
Wow.
Anyway, I thought the Zool shirt was pretty
C.O.R.E.
cool.
After
Yeah,
Dark.
very
How?
What's that?
C.O.R.E. After Dark. How? Where the ghosts run from you.
Heat of pouring.
Like, oh God, the naked investigators again. Run!
You're like, there's a ghost run from you. That's great, man.
Oh man, oh man, oh man.
So where do we want to take this?
So, I know you have a lot more stories.
We do.
Yes.
I'm looking at you, Rob. You want to do the one about you want to start?
Well, if you want to talk about the elephant house,
Absolutely.
Further.
There's an elephant in the room?
There was an elephant in the room, but we saw it, man. No, this house was pretty screwed up, even by my standards, and I've seen a lot of weird crap over the past 3 decades.
Right. Yeah. There's some weird stuff going on. I mean, the owners there would claim that things, that they've seen things walk by doorways and when they're in the bedrooms. And this is the story about when me and Tony would pick up things that happened when we left the place. Like the loud thud, and then something playing with the two-way radio that was left in the house, clamped, to be on, just as a bit of a paranormal experiment. So, but one of the things about this place, this is probably the first story Tony told me about the house before I went there with him. He was having like dreams or maybe even nightmares, but just dreams about being in some place, and he couldn't. He didn't know like where he was, but all he can say is that he was in a basement. When he first went to this house after the woman contacted him, this is one of the places she took him, and the second he went down there, he's like, pardon my language, he's like, holy shit. He's like, this is what I was in my dream. Mm-hmm. Everything in here, the layout, all the things you have in this basement, and it is. I think it's probably the only time he ever had something like that happened to him, and he's like, I don't know why. He's like, I never even seen the outside of this house before, and I never saw anything other than what was inside this room in my dream. But the second he went down there, he's like, this is for sure what I dreamed about.
Sometimes you don't choose house chooses you.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and then he had the oppression that occurred in there that one time.
That picture of him, not to interrupt you, but he just looks mean.
Yeah, well, there was something, a reflection in there was like I don't know, maybe like a hutch behind him, like a cabinet, and there was something in the glass door, like a reflection. It's hard to say what it is. Again, it's the whole pareidolia thing, and you don't know what it is. It could look like one thing to you and something else to me. But yeah, that was the same photo where he was out of it. Like he just didn't look right. And he's not.
How do you tell the difference?
Well, see that.
Tony, if you're listening, this is down to Rob. I ain't taking responsibility for this.
Well, as far as telling the difference in a photo, I mean that's just it. You just gotta take it for what it is. I mean, anybody can fake something in a photograph, a look, and that's why they're hard to be credible.
I mean, you're saying he looks out of it. How do you tell the difference?
Well, he's always an upbeat person, and not not like with a lack of energy, and in this picture he was drained. And I believe we were not filming that in the summer, so it definitely wasn't like a heat issue in the house since it wasn't actively occupied. Yeah,
it looks like in that photo, it looked like his whole persona had changed.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of looked like he just didn't know where he was. I would say almost like as if you were looking at somebody that was dehydrated, like they're just like they're out of it, and they're not to the point where they probably have to be in a hospital yet, but they're just like they're kind of half there, half not.
Right.
And that's how he looked in the photograph. And I again, I like to believe Tony because he's not the kind of person to me to fake things, but I will say, you can't always just 100% say that you know somebody, because we've all been in experiences where you think you know someone, and then something happens, and you're like, wow, I wasn't expecting that.
Rob, I just need to let you know, you better choose your words carefully, because Tony's in chat right now.
Oh, I know.
He's going to beat you up.
And I love that
Tony,
man.
you're a wonderful guy.
Give him a minute, he'll be out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, exit, right? But yeah, so I mean that was one of the first crazy things he had. But yeah, that house is very odd. I mean, again, you're more sensitive to that stuff than I am, so I can't say I felt anything in there. And when we were in it, we just had nothing until we left. Right. And then you go back, you listen to recordings, you watch video, and you'll pick up stuff. So It's like something. It's almost like something was either intelligent or it was just residual, and we happened to not be there during that residual playback of events. So
how incredible would that have been?
Yes,
to be able to witness that firsthand or hear it firsthand.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's
residually telling a story of how they ended their life.
Yes.
Oh, incredible.
You say it's wonderful until the white hot panic goes streaming through your nervous system, and you're just like, I need to jump out of my skin and away from here at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
And that's about right. And
Yeah.
nothing's going to catch up with you because it's slipping into what you left behind, like I said before.
Yeah.
It's always. I think residual can be scarier sometimes than an actual entity trying to communicate, because residual, you have to ascertain what they're trying to say through story. It's almost like audible mime. If you want to put it that way, like the bucket or the wood being kicked out, the rope tightening.
Right.
What am I listening to?
Well, that was the other place, but but anyways, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. It depends on what it is. You know, it could just be something not frightening, but if it is something like that, that's very much so a wow moment. It's like that's crazy. I just experienced something that happened, however long ago in the past.
Right.
That was. It seemed to be a sequence of events that sounded like it led up to somebody taking their life, and that's crazy. You know.
Yeah.
So that can absolutely be scary, as opposed to something intelligent that like pushes you or does something physical, and you're just like you have to try to in a case like that they're trying to communicate. Yes, yeah, exactly. In a case like that, it's just like a DVD being played over and over ad nauseum through history, and that's frightening. Yeah,
to be caught in something like that, even if it's not sentient, it's still there.
Yeah, it's still there.
I mean, let's look at let's face it. Just because this is a horrible joke, just because you're not playing the DVD, the Titanic, doesn't mean the damn movie doesn't exist.
Right.
Jack is still frozen to death on that plank of wood, no matter if you turn it off or on.
It's still Jack's still frozen. He's still there.
Never
and
let
she
go.
could have shoved over. She could have given some room in that wood. Sorry.
Just never let go.
It's true though. I mean, if she had this big piece of wood.
Oh no, not saying that.
Did somebody slam you for a Titanic move?
No, I slammed myself for a Titanic move. I hit an iceberg with my terrible singing.
Buzzing.
Now,
I'm gonna ball that suit.
I have a similar situation where this is, I would say 20 years ago.
Can we hear it?
Sure, you can hear it. We had a similar situation about 20 years ago.
Can we hear it?
I went into Jersey Girl.
Yeah.
I went into
Speak up, Jersey Girl. I'm looking at the
home.
level. Speak up.
I went into a home, and it was a girlfriend of mine who had just bought the house. And I walked in, and she's showing me the whole place and everything. I go to their attic, and here is a guy who had killed himself in that house. Going like this, lying down like if it was at a bed, and then just standing up and looking and going back. And looking, and they're saying that he killed himself upstairs, and he was reliving his last few moments. If you go back up again, he would do exactly the same thing. And then the very last thing was he took a knife and he stabbed himself.
Oh.
That's how he finally ended, which was like, woo. I personally had to go home after seeing that a couple of times. I'm like, oh, okay, get that out of your head, get that out of your head. But
never does though, does it?
No, it never does. And at that time, I was a paralegal, so I would be like, okay, go to the legal side. That is terrible. He shouldn't have done that. And I'm like, so I'm using my brain and I'm using my gift side and everything all together. And I'm like, I never walked in there again. I couldn't watch the rerun. It's just, it was horrible.
Be condemned to repeat that, and it's self-inflicted, I'm sure.
Yes.
But to think you can't come back from that.
He's living his own hell.
That's what I was gonna. I didn't want to go spiritual,
right?
Religious,
but
dogmatic. But
that's
if
what.
there's a hell, that's
more,
what it is.
More groundhog.
Groundhog Day. Right, yeah, Groundhog Day. Yeah.
Yeah, alarm goes off and you repeat the same process over and over.
And he just, every single time you open the door and you went upstairs, it would be the exact same thing. 2 or 3 times he would sit up, look towards the door, lie down. So I don't know if he was waiting for somebody to come. you know,
Maybe
or
to
like
save him or see if anybody
like
can-
maybe like a narcissist, maybe he was, and he was waiting for the wife or whatever to come, so then she could blame herself for the rest of her life. I stabbed myself because of you, or something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know the whole story because she tried looking the records. All there was the, you know, the record that this person committed suicide, but you know, otherwise, and she actually sold the house like within 6 months. Because
Sounds about right. Now, did she physically see the apparition as well, or did
yes,
she just?
she's
okay.
also very gifted. So
Okay.
you know, that's why she.
That's
had,
always fun.
Yeah, and I'm like, you didn't see this when you came to look at the house. Like, what's wrong with you? You should have felt it. You should have. But she, you know, they.
Or did the real estate agent like, you don't want? That's just a storage room. There's just boxes
It's just
in there.
an attic.
Yeah,
You
don't
walk
worry
right
about
in.
it. Please don't go in there. There's a guy killing himself on repeat.
Yeah, man behind the curtain.
Yeah, yeah. So, and then that time you didn't have to declare that as disclosure.
No.
You know, so.
I'm glad that's coming about today, though,
Yeah.
because that's important.
Yeah.
It really is, because people move into this stuff, they think it's not real, like I was saying before,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden, damn, there you are faced with this.
And you can't get out of it
What
because
am I
you
supposed
just
to do?
you just bought the house. 99% of the times you don't have a lot of deposit in the house, so there isn't that much wiggle room to go from there to another house. So yeah, it's always very interesting.
Okay, but that said,
Yes.
what if you bring like an antique into the house right after you buy it that has an attachment?
Same thing.
So, but I'm saying there's no guarantee that what you're now encountering was there before the closing.
That's true. Although
It's all
she's-
subjective.
Yeah, but she also didn't have any furniture in there yet.
No, but I'm saying when
yeah.
you talk about having to disclose,
Yeah.
the other side of that is you could literally bring something in with an attachment the day after you move in.
Yeah, that's true.
And there it is.
Yeah.
You know, this is not yet a forensic science.
No. Yeah.
Inside of it.
That's very true.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
mirror, the thing was shaking on its own accord in the back of our Kia.
Yeah.
You two want to share this with the rest of us?
Yeah, share it with the rest of the class
Subtext.
if it's this good.
Margie, if you want to give a little background on that house, I mean, don't
Come on,
mention names,
Margie.
obviously, but
Come on, Margie, you do the background.
You can do it. All the
We'll
cool
do
kids are
hand and
doing
we'll
it.
have a whole
I don't
volley.
remember. That was the one with the marbles rolling and stuff.
Set-
They lost their
paint the
marbles.
picture for us. Where was this place?
It was in Scioto.
Okay.
It was an old farmhouse and such, and they kept seeing all these things. Like in the closet was like a portal and stuff, and I didn't see the marbles, but upstairs the marbles were rolling, and it wasn't the floor that was. And you had stuff thrown at you
Yes. Yes, I did.
and stuff.
That was from
No, why were the marbles up there? Was that part of an experiment to see if the spirit would move it, or if the floor was level?
That was the marbles were ours.
Okay.
And we did check with levels. We did check, and they did not roll on their own accord. We used the same trick at Skytop in the print closet. And you don't need all these fancy.
There was a mirror
gadgets.
too, wasn't there something with
That's
a
what I was
mirror?
talking about.
Yeah.
The mirror,
We
yeah.
took it. We finally got it down. Well, here, two
We got rid of the
sisters.
mirror, didn't we?
Yeah, Liza and I didn't. We,
Yeah.
ended up, we didn't make it to consecrated ground. The thing was rattling so bad. We got it and took it out and we threw it in the freaking woods. And
No,
left,
wait,
and we
what's
were just
going on with the
scared.
mirror?
The
Okay,
mirror was.
wait, Margie,
Back up.
you obviously know about the mirror, so
Well,
you tell us.
I didn't see that party. I was downstairs,
Okay,
but
you tell us the
they were
story.
telling me about the mirror. There was something in the mirror, and the mirror was projecting.
That's where the portal was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
and it was in the closet, and the mirror was in the closet, and that's where everything was coming out from.
I just want to say this. I hate mirrors. For whatever reason, growing up, our mom put a mirror at the end of a hallway, so it made a nice little funnel effect for anything that wanted to come right on through. Just like shoom, shoom. And I'm like, wow. Go ahead. And to top that off, our mother had a mirrored headboard and a vanity mirror just facing each other. Oh, it was right next to that hallway too. Ooh, it was a bad time.
So Margie,
Yes.
tell us about this mirror.
About who?
About what did you hear about the mirror? And then
I
Johnny will
didn't
fill in
hear-
the gaps. And then we'll be in wind gap. But
Or at least what we experienced in the house, the story
Yes.
behind it and stuff.
You know more about it than I do.
right, but you start for maybe you'll trigger some memories in him.
All I remember was the mirror, and that was the portal, and they had to get rid of it. But these two girls whose house it was, they insisted on all this stuff happening. I don't really think all this stuff was happening that they were projecting.
Right.
They seemed to be very, like, they thought they were psychic. And they really weren't.
Sorry.
Yeah,
they were projecting things and saying.
But they're insofar as even self-manifestation.
Yeah.
And we can't say what we're thinking between each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
And it ended the way it did. But the mirror, let's put it this way. We said about Ouija boards before. There was some Ouija board activity going on over there by people who thought they were qualified.
Right. Very good word.
What a nice way of putting it.
Were they Australian night? Were they qualified?
I don't think they were. I think they were more of an upper London accent. When it comes out. Well, you could be Cockney as well, so that's all right. Let me run when I get home.
They thought they were qualified.
Qualified? No, they're definitely. I'm not going to go with that.
Why they called it? Because I think they thought they knew more than we did.
Yeah.
And just wanted us to verify what they thought.
Mm-hmm.
And for nothing more than spectacularism.
Yeah.
You know, just being spectacular and saying we're doing this, we have this in our house. But they used, like I said, the Ouija board, opened stuff up they couldn't stop. The portal ended up being in the mirror. The night we discovered that, you remember the circle? Remember sitting in the circle with us? And we were feeling vibrations under the floorboards?
Yeah.
Okay, that was during daylight hours. Something was under us, just like, I don't want to do it here because of the mics.
Right.
But pounding on the floorboards. And we're sitting, there was like 6 of us in a circle. Circle of protection, of course. You know, understand what that is.
Yeah.
And what else was it? Other things happened. We were hearing noises upstairs. So something was there, but we were safe. You could feel this pressure around you. The bubble. It wouldn't invade that blue light, but that bubble. And then we had, I forget exactly how, so I'm not going to make the story up. But we had pinpointed it down to this mirror being the portal that whatever was in this house was utilizing for travel. So Liza and I took it. We had a 2005 Chevy Cobalt. Didn't have the key at this point. It doesn't matter. But 2005 Chevy Cobalt, put the mirror in the back. Right. We were going to go bury it on consecrated ground. That was the only thing we could actually come up with.
Right. And that's usually the best option. Yeah.
So, and I wasn't as progressed with my studies as I am now, where I might have handled this differently.
Right.
In my spirituality. But we put it in the back of the car. We got maybe 5 miles from this house, and it wasn't the roads, but the mirror started in the hood, in the back of the car, and I said, Liza, stop. She stopped. And it sped up, and I was like, we got to get this thing out of our vehicle.
Must drive faster. Must drive faster.
Drive faster and leave the trunk open. You know, so I didn't know what to do at this point. I don't know whether to defecate or want my watch. I think I want my watch. But we got it out, and I tossed it into the woods, and it was the most irresponsible thing I could have done, but at least it was abandoned area. It wasn't anywhere it was going to get in any trouble. But I did the best I could that night because I didn't know what to do.
Right. So maybe, I don't know what we're going to do in the future, like consecrate a trunk? Like in Supernatural?
No, in the future...
I didn't know that was a thing. Seriously. They did that in the show?
Well, they had in their Impala, they had like, what was it, like a devil's trap? Megan, help me out. Yeah, they had a devil's trap in the trunk. And they put all their weapons and stuff in there?
Yeah, I've never seen Supernatural. I think the first
Supernatural.
No! They're paranormal investigators and also hunt monsters.
Yeah, I know, but it's not real.
The best way to do it right now would be to carry some holy water, right? Or some dirt from cemetery.
Well,
if
earth, wind, fire.
Right.
And spirituality.
But, so, using your spirituality, you would carry
You're putting that ever so gently.
You carry all this stuff with you, and, in that case, and at least your travels will be a little less uneventful or less eventful.
I didn't mind the event. I just didn't know what to do with the item.
Right.
And after we got that out of there, I assume things quieted down, but I probably just transferred the problem. So,
well, I think if you put it in the woods, at least it goes back to earth. So it could recycle that energy, hopefully.
Which is what I hope happened. But we were not going to drive any further with that in the back.
No, I can understand that. That could be very interesting because you don't know then if it comes out of there, if it breaks itself, comes out, stays in the car, or what else could happen.
And that's why
And it's hard enough to sell a freaking Chevy Cobalt without that truck.
It was such a pile of crap. Yeah. My God, it didn't even go 55,000 miles and it was dying.
Well, maybe it was the portal.
Yeah, it might have been.
Ashley, Megan, do you have something you'd like to share with us? 'Cause
We didn't make enough cupcakes for the class. We can't share with everyone.
no, that's okay. Talk amongst
I mean-
yourselves, like, it's a normal show.
I think we have a couple spooky stories.
Well, okay, but
So-
are these spooky stories, or are they actual stories that just happen to be spooky?
Ghostly things we've seen.
Okay, so why don't you share at least one of
So,
them?
when I was but a small child, a wee child, probably I was under 10, we were, for some reason, spending the summer at our uncle's house, and Ashley was walking behind me, but I was walking into our dining room, and I saw the reflection of a figure running up the stairs. We have like a built-in china cabinet, and I saw the reflection off that, and I was like, oh, no. Like, it was just this white figure just like bolting up the stairs, and I asked my uncle and my mom about it, and they were like, it was probably your grandfather. Now, my grandfather was actually well known in the area. Back in 1979, he was the volunteer fire chief. He died during a fire. What was the name of that hotel where the Best Western used to be? No, it's changed names so many times. It's the one by Compton's Pancake House, if you live in Stroudsburg. What, the motel in town?
Yeah,
right there. Oh, I thought it was the other one.
It's
right by
now the Riverview, I think.
something like that.
Okay.
Well, he died in front of that, and my mom says it was his ghost running up the stairs because, that's the house they lived in at the time.
So what do you think? Like, maybe it was a memory of his...
Yeah, I think it was just like some sort of imprint. It was a residual.
Yeah.
Grandpa wasn't like, what are you doing? Why are you eating peanut butter sandwiches in the living room?
Yeah, no, but our family does have this annoying ability that when something's about to happen that's really not nice, they'll come up and be like, hey, this person's going to die soon. Just wanted to call and let you know. I know you're at work right now and you're probably pissing yourself, and I apologize because, I'm dead and I've been dead for a while, but I just thought you'd like to know.
Oh.
Yeah, one of those.
Uh-huh. Yo, tell the grandma story.
Oh, my grandma's story? Oh, God. So when I was 16, I was at my grandma's house again, on my mom's side. She was in the hospital because she was on her way out. She was fading. Mm-hmm. And I kind of became her home health aide. Mm-hmm. Like, they changed my bus stop between there because I was going through high school at the time. And so I would just help her out whenever she needed. And so Megan and I were sleeping in her bedroom, and whatever, it was a night. And like in my dream, I hear my grandma calling me. That means like, Ashley, I need some help here. It's like, Ashley. And then I wake up and like, Grandma needs me. I need to get up right now. And I get up, I open my eyes, and the door's open, the light's on, because I'm a coward there's way too many dead people around all the time, so Ashley has to sleep with the lights on until she's 20. And this figure, just like walking out of the darkness of the outside of the room with the door open, out of the living room. Out of the darkness comes this figure. That's my grandmother, shrouded in black energy. She's wearing but with a white outline, and she was wearing a nightgown, like one of her nightgowns. So it's like I could see her outline, I could see her details, but the figure was all shrouded in black energy, which is probably because she was sick. And she's kind of like drifting towards me. And you can't see me on camera, but like as she was approaching me, and I was trying to scream in absolute abject terror, and not a sound would come forth from my vocal cords. So much panic. And she would she lifted her arm, and she was pointing towards me, and she like came up along the side of the bed, because you have the door in the front of the room, and then she'd come through, and like the bed was towards the back wall, so she would come up to the right, and then down. And then she had her hand up like she was going to poke me in the forehead. And I'm like, dear sweet God. And she had an intercom. And I'm like slamming it. Megan's sleeping. I'm like, Megan, wake up. And nobody's helping me. I'm like, ah. And I shut my eyes. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die. And then I open my eyes to watch her walk through the wall. Couldn't even go through the door that was open next to her. No, she walks through the wall on the other side of the room and just goes. And then I just go and I run up the stairs to my uncle's bedroom screaming and crying, oh my God, she's gonna get me, oh my God. And that's actually a story about how Grandma came to see her on her 16th birthday.
See, my question is, what did you think an 11-year-old was going to do for you?
I don't know, be awake and conscious with me as I screamed and possibly peed myself.
Actually, no, I would have been 9, because you're 7 years older. I was 9. What for me?
I just needed someone to be there. I needed a thunder buddy.
So, Ashley,
Yes.
have you ever walked through a wall?
It hurts.
Have you ever walked through a wall?
No.
Okay. So, if you had a choice to walk through a wall or walk through a door,
I just found the whole experience unsettling. And she was still alive at the time, too. She didn't, like, die. She wasn't dead yet. She died.
She was in between
Like, she
worlds.
might have, like, faded in and out for a minute. It's like, oh, wait, no, never mind. Still got a couple more hours on the clock. Sorry about that, Ashley.
but you're sitting there saying, and there was a perfectly good door as you walked through a wall.
Yeah,
What
granted
would
the
you
wall
do?
was closer to, I don't know, maybe she wanted to scare me some more.
Well, but
Could you not see
still,
how
you know, I
terrified
can
your
walk through a
grandchild
wall.
was? Let's scare her some more.
Well, I would try.
Exactly.
Yeah, if I had that ability, I would do it.
Sensationalism.
Grandma's like,
I'm
this is
Margie,
pretty
look at
lit.
you, I can
I'm
walk
floating
through
around.
walls. There she goes.
I would use
Once
the
again.
force.
You know, Patrick Swayze it. Move the can.
And she
Swayze
did.
out.
Yes, she was in between worlds, and
You have a
that's
pottery-
why.
You have a pottery wheel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who are we talking?
What?
Oh, we're talking ghost babe. We're gonna make some pottery.
You have a pottery wheel, that's all.
Oh God, all I can think of is you and Larry making pottery together. I don't know which one is
Which one?
Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, who, me?
I don't know. No, maybe Larry.
He did call me
Those
honey
big
earlier.
meaty hands coming around you. Like, ah!
Liza's gonna have my last nut now.
Yes, you don't have a lot of balls.
Oh,
And you said they were marbles.
Those are rolling around all the time.
Cat's eyes.
Rob's like, I thought this was gonna be a respectful interview. What madness did I step in? Trying to be the consummate professional. I'm fine.
Exactly, yeah.
Eliza's probably watching the video right now.
And that's why I wasn't there, jackass.
You're gonna get an email with a price tag on it and a PayPal link. You can have them, just brush them and feed them twice a day.
Just twice a day?
Twice a day.
And in the pinch, you don't even have to brush them.
Just take him outside, hose him off on occasion so he doesn't stink up the place.
I'm seeing like John Merrick in a corner of the Elephant Man. You know?
I'm a person!
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, so ghosts, dead things.
Sorry, just the ribs.
So, Margie, why did you get into this?
Why?
I don't mean the show,
Because I just think the whole thing is interesting.
but I'm saying, what is it that made you take that leap from not doing it to actually
Because
doing
John
it?
allowed me to. Because you allowed me to. You took me in and allowed me to join
Your
his
inciting
group
incident.
And I will
So you
say
were a
one
stray investigator, and then John adopted you.
No, I wasn't doing anything. I was just always interested in it and met John and
Okay.
pushed my way into it, and he took me.
Synchronicities.
Yeah,
It really
yeah.
worked out.
Good.
Margie was in a retail setting at that point, and I was a
How
customer.
much were you getting, Margie?
Not much. Not enough.
Now, I remember
Who gave
she
you the quarter?
paid me, but it didn't matter.
A lot of people.
Oh, good.
But I met her, and from the moment we met, it was
Got clicked.
Yeah,
we knew
we
there
clicked.
was a connection.
Right.
That, yeah.
We were
Sounded
meant to
like
be
that
friends.
synchronicity you were referring to?
Yeah,
Yes.
There you go.
exactly. And I'll tell you what,
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And it was meant to be.
and Margie is a very, very special woman. She really is, and I'm saying that on the air, and for no other reason than it's true. When Pocono Paranormal Research dissolved, Margie and Josh were the only ones that stuck with us through that. And I just could never leave her behind. You know what I mean?
Right,
Ever,
right.
ever, for any reason. And we've experienced a lot of strange phenomena together. A lot. We have history. Just so many things well, like I said, over the past decade. And now with you guys, it's been, what, 4 going on 5 years we've been affiliated.
Yeah, I've been doing it myself since 2009. So.
Right, yeah, you were part of another team, weren't you?
Yeah.
Well, how old were you then?
Well, I'm 37 now, so.
Oh, because most people start earlier than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, shit. I was trying to say family friendly.
That's a different show.
It is a different show.
Wow.
I said show, nothing else.
Wow.
Well, no, I started, like I said, at age, officially with Pocono Paranormal, I think I was 23 or 24. Because we had
Okay.
our experience right after we got married in the home in Penargil.
Right.
And that was about age 21 or 22, I'm going to say. But we never told the second half of that Oliphant story either.
Yeah. Okay.
You?
Well, what do you need? Peanuts?
We need peanuts, popcorn, and perhaps some
Jacks?
Crunch and Munch. Yeah, I like Crunch and Munch.
Circus Crunch and Munch.
Oh God,
Oh, I
please.
hate circus peanuts.
Those things. Those are like the. Those are the.
They're garbage.
I was gonna make a reference again.
Well, no, those are the ones the
How about O. Henry bars?
They can have them back.
But now this has evolved into the Candy Bark podcast. So
John
Oliphant,
would
what
prefer
happened?
O. Henry bars.
Oh, memories! My God, we did a presentation. Just a quick little anecdote. Did a presentation at a nursing home. I'm not going to say where, but trying to raise money. We had people come in trying to raise money for the resident activity fund.
Right.
You know where I'm talking.
Uh-huh.
And Liza, it was around Halloween time, and Liza had bought a bag of mixed old-time candy.
Right.
And she always likes the old-time candy. But Josh, her son, who cannot be here with us tonight, obviously, he looks at this, and Josh is real smooth when he talks, you know? I was always the one that was hyper, and let's get this done. And Josh, who the hell eats O. Henry candy bars anymore? Those are Liza's favorites. She just did that Liza one eyebrow thing at him. And from that point on, she wouldn't let him forget it. For years, she bought him O. Henry t-shirts, O. Henry cards.
Yeah, she had to buy him a t-shirt, yeah.
Just to remind him, he put his foot in his mouth that night.
It was so funny.
But the Oliphant house, I guess you had gone through what you and Tony and the rest of the team had experienced there at that point. Now, folks, I'm going to warn you. We've been doing ghost investigations, paranormal entities for a very long time. And I'm actually warning the audience. This story may shock you because it scared the hell out of me. I had to actually leave the home for about a half an hour to regroup myself when I experienced this, and I swore that day I would never go back in the house. I may rethink that today. I may rethink that
You're
today.
feeling bold and spicy.
Well, I'm feeling, let's put it this way. The barbecue sauce is halfway between 0 and 10. So I'm pushing about a 5 on the hot level. But it was the same house that Rob was speaking of before. And we took in trigger music because we had a theory that something was in there of an older era.
Okay.
And I had gone through and I have this trigger music collected anywhere between the 20s. There's like 3 songs from each era, the 30s, 40s, and so forth.
Okay.
Johnny?
Yes?
What's trigger music?
Trigger music is in fact something you play in an alleged haunted location, and it may invoke activity from an entity that may have died from the era the music is being played from.
Okay.
And that's what we were attempting to do until, of course, we set it. Now you got to. This mansion's huge. It was big, and it's a mansion, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's a sizable house for sure.
Let's put
like,
it that.
Like it has like 2 decently sized staircases on either side of the house to lead upstairs, and you you can like meet in the center of the hallway. So it for whatever reason it's that big.
And
like,
I'm glad you brought up the staircases.
Yeah,
because that's where this happened. I was on the 2nd floor. The spiral staircase was the one in the front. And I had various investigators in various bedrooms. That place, how many bedrooms? Excuse me, how many bedrooms were in that place? Like 14 or something?
well, I think ironically enough, it has like 3 floors.
Yeah.
And then you would have like an attic. So I mean, probably like 3 bedrooms on the 2nd floor, and then like another 2 on the 3rd.
It was, yeah. Well, Liza did her Liza thing at this point. And I told you before, Liza goes off on her own. She showed me she does it. She lands like a cat every time on her feet. But she was not there for this.
Unlike Margie, apparently.
Well, Margie just saves equipment. My God. I still can see the Sherman Theater. I still see your one leg kicking up behind the curtain. You look like you're doing a revisit of the can. But I was sitting halfway in between all my investigators I had around me in the stairwell. The servants' stairwells were in the back. They led to the kitchen, and the spiral was in the front. First off, the thing was messing with our trigger music. It kept turning it down, and I turned it up. So apparently it didn't like the selections. I don't know. Who doesn't like Bing Crosby? Come on.
He thought he was hipster garbage.
Well,
It's like, that guy had no talent.
His kids, apparently.
He liked underground big band music.
His kids
Glenn
weren't-
Miller, His what?
His kids weren't crazy about it.
No, I read that book. But the trigger music, we finally stopped.
Right.
And about 2 hours into sitting, and like I said, folks, it gets boring. It's typically very boring until you have something interesting happen. I saw from behind the servants' quarters stairwell, which is a wall, and there was no way. The kitchen was closed down below. The door was closed. It was a solid oak door. Nobody opened it and closed it. Nothing happened. But from behind the obscuring wall where the steps were, I saw a head jut out. Now, guys, I've seen ghosts. I've seen residual. This was not that.
Right.
This thing was solid, and I mean solid, physical solid. I don't want to say its eyes were glowing. They weren't. but the ambient light that was in the room was shining off of him. So it was something glassy. It was something mucousy, wet membrane. Not slimy, but its head was misshapen. And I swear to this day, knowing what I know now about the town of Oliphant and the underground coal mines and all the alien abductions that had happened in that region, and how the old town is connected somehow in its formature to ancient Egypt, that I was looking at what would be construed as a gray.
Okay.
I had to be, because it took about a full, you said about stopping, and you couldn't even talk. You just freeze. And that's what this did to me. And I've heard of other cases with alien contact where the eyes stop you. You just freeze.
Right.
And this has never happened to me on a case before. And this is only, 3 years ago? This isn't even that long ago.
Yeah, correct.
3, not even quite 3. But I stared at this thing, and it was just staring me down. And this was about a good 30 to 35 seconds. And I finally breathed in, what the is that? Laid a verbal mushroom cloud. And the head pulled back in, gone. The door didn't open and close down below, which would have been its only exit point.
Okay.
So I don't know multidimensionality. I have no idea what I was looking at. I probably sound like a raving nutter even telling the story, but I know what I experienced. And that's, of course, when you think that, hey, I got a camera, and you pull it out and want to take a picture. Well, it's long gone by that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Who knows what I would have caught, if anything, even, if it was multidimensionality. But that, guys, I went outside, and for about a good half hour, I just sat there. And I think I smoked half a pack of cigarettes. I was that frightened. I didn't know what I was dealing with.
Can you imagine if he had a cloaking technology and he's like, let me just adjust this setting here. Something's wrong. And then you see him and he's like, wrong setting, wrong setting, wrong setting.
Actually, it could be closer to the truth than you realize. Douglas
He probably
Adams.
pooped himself a little, like, oh.
Just leaving his Reese's Pieces as he runs.
Aliens poop Reese's Pieces. Like the music was messing with the settings. Like, God, just turn this crap off.
Oh God, 80s pop.
What's the frequency, Kenneth?
Can you imagine paranormal investigators trying to investigate us haunting things? Are they gonna try and play in sync where I'm haunting? Because I'll become a violent poltergeist.
K-pop for you.
Possibly, if they know that. It's like, we'll play Chocolate by Baby Metal.
There you go.
Or what's that one with the kids singing?
It's like the little Japanese girl idol
That's it.
singers
That's
and
what
metal Japanese ghosts. Fun times.
So, let's take a short break.
Yes.
Because we need to set up some EVPs.
We got some sassy EVPs for you.
Now that you know what EVPs are, folks.
Yes, there will be a test at the end of the show. So make sure you've been taking notes.
We'll be right back in a couple
I'll
of
take
minutes.
A flat.
All right, guys, we'll be right back.
Stock market investor? Well, then you know these 3 key words: buy, sell, hold. Those 3 magic words can make or lose you money in the stock market. What if we can show you a time-tested tool that's been helping stock market investors succeed for over 30 years? It's called VectorVest, an amazing system designed to make smart investing easy. The VectorVest system analyzes, sorts, and ranks over 19,000 stocks every day and tells you when to buy, what to buy, and when to sell any stock to maximize your profits in less than 10 minutes a day. And if you call right now, you can test drive our amazing VectorVest system risk-free for 30 days for just $9.95.
800-958-0341. 800-958-0341. 800-958-0341. That's 800-958-0341.
Looking for high-speed internet where you live but are out of reach of cable and fiber options? Look no further. High-speed internet is now available in your area, as your local authorized HughesNet retailer, Whole Home Connect, makes it easy to get the high-speed internet you need with blazing fast speeds, unlimited data with no hard data limits, with built-in Wi-Fi for as little as $2 a day. Act now and for a limited time, get free standard installation and free equipment with HughesNet from Whole Home Connect. You'll enjoy internet service that lets you do more of everything you want to do online, like shopping, surfing, and staying in touch. Call Whole Home Connect and see for yourself why HughesNet is America's #1 choice for satellite internet.
800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. That's 800-696-2871.
When I need a cut, I go to Diamond Cuts. Ain't no half cutting there. Oh, yeah. Woo, man, at Diamond Cuts, their barbers got the freshest styles. Anything from fades, Caesars, high tops, blowouts, shape-up, tape-ups, and much more. Their barbers can cut men, women, children, young and old. Stop by Diamond Cut at 144 Pocono Boulevard in Mount Pocono, PA. Or just call at 570-216-4912. Ain't no half cutting there, baby paw. Yo, Stan, yo, Ant, yo, Black, yo, Light Skin, yo, E, where y'all at?
If you or someone you love suffers from drug or alcohol addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan to receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits so that you have low or no out-of-pocket costs. We quickly help you verify your health insurance coverage amounts for substance abuse treatment so you can prepare for immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center now. Select from locations nationwide while receiving up to $30,000 or more in coverage through your private health insurance PPO plan if eligible. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier matching service available 24/7. We help you use your PPO private health insurance with low or no out-of-pocket costs.
Call now, 800-961-2480. 800-961-2480. 800-961-2480. 800-961-2480. That's
I'm Liza Hotchkiss. And I'm Johnny Hotchkiss, and we are C.O.R.E Phenomena Research. And you're listening to Glenda's Dragon's Den on Wild FM.
Welcome back, everyone, to Glenda's Dragon's Den. I'm Glenda Dawson, your host, and we have Johnny, Rob, and Margie from C.O.R.E Paranormal. One is Alpha, and the other one is
Omega.
Beta. And we're going to turn it over to Johnny, who has some EVPs for us and stories behind it.
I, in fact, do. I brought some more good ghostly warbling, which Ashley liked last time.
Ghostly yodels.
There you are.
The EVPs shall now be named Ghost Yodels.
Ghost yodels. That sounds like a punk band, doesn't it? Like,
Ghostly yodelers.
followed by shits and giggles, the ghost yodelers.
Maybe like rockabilly. I think more rockabilly.
And if you hear them, you're going to be chased by Drake.
Wait, what are we talking about again? Oh yeah, dead people.
Dead people, I think it was. There's one EVP on that chip that I gave you, and you did preview it, so I know the one. You know the one I'm talking about. It was from one of our earliest cases that was a private home.
Okay.
We called it the coal miner case, and it was up in the lower portions of New York State where the strip mining had happened and the coal underground coal mining. Well, houses were built on top of this land years later, so it was still made useful, apparently. But this woman claimed she kept seeing a coal miner standing at the bottom of her steps when she'd open her door, and holding the pick and with the old-time helmet with the light, the lantern on it and stuff. And she closed the door right away. So lo and behold, she finds us, calls us in, and we were in the basement. And I don't know why we picked a little girl's voice up, because that's what it sounds like, almost like a sprite, or if you, when I'm talking like cartoon version. For whatever reason. But a K2 meter and two other of our meters at that point, a flashlight maybe, had been moved, and I know darn well where I had set them down. Now, what ensued as we were trying to look for them is this EVP. You'll hear a metal clank, a brief pause, after you hear us all going, was it here, is it there? And you'll hear some, like I said, young girl, allegedly, telling us, should I just say it, or should I let people hear it?
No, let the EVP play,
Yep.
let the people figure it out.
There you go. Then that's all I need to introduce.
All right, so
Listen after the metal clank.
yes, listen for the metal clank, and you should be able to hear something after that. And we'll be playing this EVP right now.
Did it get put back in the bag? No, he just didn't he have it down here? Yeah, I thought he was using it, and he took it back from me. It's up here, is it? No. Did it get put back in the bag? No, he just didn't he have it down here? Yeah, I thought he was using it, and he took it back from me. It's up here, is it?
Can we get a little louder?
Yeah, hold on a second. We're gonna play it one more time for you
Get put
guys in
back
case
the
you didn't
bag?
hear it.
No, he's not. Didn't he have it down here? Yeah, I thought he was using it. And he took it back from me. It's not up here, is it? No. Just Campfire's up there. To get put back in the bag?
And that was the EVP.
Okay, let's hear it one more time at the same volume, and
You want to hear it one more time at the same volume?
Yeah.
please.
You're gonna get us in trouble, Megan.
To get put back in the bag? No, he's not. Didn't he have it down here? Yeah, I thought he was using it. And he took it back from me. It's not up here, is it? No. Just Campfire's up there. To get put back in the bag? No, he's not. Didn't he have it down here? Yeah, I thought he was using it. And he took it back from me. It's not up here, is it? No. Just Campfire's up there.
And that was the EVP.
What are we listening to, Jim?
Right there, what we had happened was something was telling us, if you're hearing it through headphones, you can hear it clearer. There's something of yours in there. And clear sentence, albeit a whisper, it's not a Class A, it's a Class B EVP. But it's definitely there. And after this, I cut the video, the audio, because I was like, where's my stuff? And I didn't get the response, but we found all three of our pieces of equipment diagonally set on a workbench in the basement.
Huh.
So they had been moved.
How far?
Oh, God, from me to Megan. I mean, it was a distance. It was a distance. So my bag was sitting here. Reverse this table, it would have been this way, but they were over this way from where they were in that basement. And that was insane. That was like one of the first real indicators that telekinetic energy can actually move things. I wish we had seen it, but I don't think it works that way. I really don't. But that was one of those.
So the actual EVP is there's something of yours in here?
And that was the entity, whatever it was, or one of the entities, telling us, keep looking, you'll find it.
And can we hear that one more time, Ashley, now that we know what we're looking for?
All right. We'll play it one more time for you guys in the back.
Thank you.
To get put back in the bag? No, he's not. Didn't he have it down here? Yeah, I thought he was using it. And he took it back from me. It's not up here, is it? No. Just Campfire's up there.
It sounded really helpful. It's nice to have like a not spooky sort of message. It's like, it's over there.
Now, if you want spooky, we can move.
I want spooky, but I want to be able to hear it. So say it so you like the people at the back of the room to hear it.
If you want to have spooky on there, there's one, I guess I can say where it was recorded, Skytop Lodge.
Okay.
We were there for a long time. A new manager took over and said ghost hunting was not a luxury commodity, so he stopped the program. We didn't leave because of any bad reasoning. But anyway, in the crib closet, we were looking around. We had locked ourselves in the room accidentally. We were waiting for somebody to come to unlock us out. You remember this?
I wasn't in the room locked in with you.
You know, maybe that was, you might have been in the west attic at that point. It doesn't matter. But
Okay, in the crib closet.
In the crib
For those
closet.
of us who don't get locked in the crib closet, what the hell's the crib closet?
It's a closet where you put your cribs.
There you go.
Oh!
A crib
That's
closet
it.
for the babies.
So,
that would be in
for
the
the
hotel.
babies,
It was
were
a
at
storage
Sky-
room.
It was a
Right.
storage room, Skytop, where they kept the cribs.
Yes.
Which they said had activity. And that was one of our main locations.
Wasn't there a little boy they said was there?
Yeah. And, well, the marble thing worked up there, too, if you remember that night. But this one got recorded. We were joking. You'll hear me on this doing my Muttley-esque laugh from, Wacky Races. But that's not what this is. Something screams, I'm pissed. Pissed! And you'll hear it. It clears a bell.
All
But
right.
I think it's labeled I'm pissed.
Yeah, I
Okay.
see it. All right, so now we're going to play some more EVPs for you guys. It's time to get spooky. Here we go.
Well, we got beds here if we wanted to rest. Well, we got beds here if we wanted to rest.
You could- it's right in the beginning?
The second P.
And it'll, yeah, well, I do that cough laugh I usually do.
No, I know, but I'm
And
saying
it's
the
over
second
there.
time through, you didn't let the second piss come through.
The second piss?
Yeah.
There's two pists.
Yeah.
There's two pisses?
The
Yeah,
first
it falls
one,
out.
Yeah.
I am pissed is what it says.
Yeah.
pissed, and the second one is really intense.
All right. I'll play one more time then. Here we go.
Well, we got beds here if we wanted to rest.
But it was trying to talk over me laughing.
Right.
at that point. That's why it's drowned out. It's muddled out. But the first one is there's nothing. Clear as a bell.
Well, some people in the chat room said they heard it.
Did they hear? Yeah, it's pretty clear.
Yeah, they heard it twice.
It made it out into TV land.
Yes.
We have one called Made to Suffer. That looks spooky.
That was the Frogtown Inn, as a matter of fact.
Well, let them listen to the other damn show for that one. What else we got?
Okay.
No,
What's
that's not the
happening?
same one. That's a
Not
different
the
one.
same
No,
one.
we
That's a
got
different
Maggie
one?
in each one. Yeah, that's different. Oh, and it's a quiet one. I'm going to warn the audience. It's quiet.
Okay.
But it's whispery, kind of like the There's Something of Yours in there. But you can clearly hear it if you turn it up. I was
Okay,
made to
just
suffer,
baby
it
up.
sounds like. So, cool.
All right, here we go. Some more EVPs. Let's get spooky.
You can hear the suffer more over at the end.
That is spooky. I hear it like suffer.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
oh my
something
god, I
just-
love this stuff.
So it's suffer time.
It's suffer
It's
time.
suffer time. What's for
Hopefully
suffer?
He wasn't saying I'm going to make you
What's for suffer? Pow, pow.
I think, like I said, this is my Ghost Hunting 101 EVP criteria. The Carol one is too muddled because it's a tabletop. I just put that in there for people to hear. You're welcome to play it, but I don't think anyone's going to be able to hear it through the radio.
Which one is it?
Yes, my name is Carol.
That one's not on here.
I was just randomly asking questions in an alleged haunted cemetery. These were the early days. This was a tabletop recording.
Oh, okay. Now is the Broadheadsville Cemetery one?
That would be it without saying the name.
My bad. The veil's been lifted.
It has.
What's happening? What's that one about?
You know what? I forget now.
Well,
I'll be
let's
here
listen to it.
Play it and I'll tell you what it was. Then.
Okay.
There you go.
Now we get a mystery EVP.
I haven't done my
Ooh.
presentation in about 3 years now because of college. So I forget exactly. Some of them just stand out to me. The other ones are like, what the hell was that? Yeah.
All right, so now I'm playing another EVP.
My dork light fell apart. Yeah, we're good. All right.
I don't know what that was, but I almost pooped myself. That sounded really scary.
You heard that at the end there.
I don't know what I was listening to. There's a lot of weird noises.
That was Liza and I talking between each other.
Oh, okay.
And I was recording, and right at the end, something goes, what's happening? And I can tell you exactly where that was once again. That was at Skytop Lodge. I think that was recorded in the West Attic.
Okay, but what about the one in the cemetery?
You're not going to be able to hear it, Larry, I'm sure. I mean, you can try.
So let's try.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's try.
Do we want to play the one I just did one more time?
Okay.
Or do you want to go right to the cemetery?
Let's go
Oh, now he wants to start playing everything.
No, but he had teased the other one, so let's go to the one he teased.
Can you tell me your name?
You can barely hear the
I heard
compression.
Carol.
You heard the Carol at the end?
Yeah.
I mean,
I just love, like, what equipment were you using? Because I love the noise it made. He had, like, a Star Trek old
it was
campy ghost movie
a
sound.
tabletop recorder with a regular cassette tape.
Yep.
And I had a little
Dude,
microphone.
that needs to be, like, sampled in a song somewhere. It's like, can you tell me your name? I'm like,
You're sticking me to dubstep. Core Phenomenon dubstep.
yes,
Dude.
yes.
Margie, I could see you doing a dance to it.
I'm going to play that again. It's a new club hit, kids.
There you go.
Can you tell me your name?
Can you tell me your name?
That's pretty cool.
We'll call it Carol.
Carol. Carol's, yeah, that's good.
Somebody said they heard Cheryl.
Cheryl.
Yeah.
It well could be.
Yeah.
That was my interpretation.
Yeah.
And that's most of what you do when you hear, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's funny because, like, when we talk about, photos and pareidolia, I like to talk about audio and call it auditory pareidolia. Where
Yeah.
basically,
Which is
you're,
a thing.
yeah, you're going to say, I heard this, and they're going to, well, I heard that.
Right.
So it's the same concept, just a different
Sense.
type of evidence. You're talking about photographs, still photos, and, audio. So,
Right.
Yeah.
It's interpretive art.
Yes,
Yeah.
Almost.
So Margie's like your American bandstand,
He's going back.
I give it a 10, I can dance to it.
We could do that. Or she could fall to it. I mean, if you could,
Or, you know what?
more
That's going to
likely.
be the next evolution of reality ghost shows, where it's going to be like America's Got Talent, where you're going to have
the
paranormal
bloopers.
investigators. Do
America's
bloopers.
Got Margie.
Margie, fall for this one.
America's Funniest Home Ghost Videos.
Oh my God.
Okay,
Wow.
well,
The winery. Oh, remember that last one?
yeah.
That was nothing ghostly. That was just a mess. That's all.
What is called professionally a hot mess.
A hot mess, and indeed it was. It was. Anybody familiar with the Mighty Boosh?
Yes.
Do you remember the episode, the 3rd season, where they threw the party, and the one guy's model wife was after, what was it, Vince, I guess?
Yeah.
And they're on the roof, and there's stuff happening everywhere. They're playing Spin the Bottle. That's what the night at the winery was. It was a freaking hot wreck. There was people there from my workplace. I'm a union delegate at my workplace. They were trying to get me to defend them. I'm doing ghost tours here. Get the hell away from me. What are you doing?
It's like, not now,
just like,
Cheryl. I'm talking to dead Cheryl, okay?
This is just
Give me a
not
minute.
good timing. But anyway, that's what it was like. And that was what I was referring to Rob. He knows, he was there. Margie was there.
Okay, well, how can people find you if they need you?
Yes.
To find us, we are located on Facebook at C.O.R.E Phenomena Research, and we are also C.O.R.E Phenomena Research Beta. And I think I took the alpha off there, and I was going to combine our 2 pages.
Okay.
But I haven't done that yet,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah,
Tony and I
still
need
up.
to get together, yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, just C.O.R.E Phenomena Research. There will be, I'll tell you right now, there will be links on there tonight for our Sherman Theater video we had done back in 2012. Wow. And I think I posted something else. Or if I don't, I will. We have also been on Ghost Detectives TV show, which we are proud of. Bob, Christopher, thank you. And we are available in print in the book scene there. And if you Google our names, we're all over the place. We got articles up everywhere. So hopefully good ones.
I love it when you get to the important shit, you make sure people can hear you.
C.O.R.E?
Language.
Oh my God. Everybody, listen, I have broken ribs right now. I haven't said
Let me lean forward so I can be heard here. All of a sudden, I know how to use a fucking microphone.
You gave me holy hell last time because I wasn't speaking loud enough.
Yeah.
That's why I was leaning into it. I have broken ribs right now, so if anybody see me struggling or coughing and holding my chest, that's why, and it was my own damn fault.
They're just cracked, but they might be broken if he keeps this shit up.
Rob, take over.
He's dying. Help him, Thunder Buddy.
All right, well,
Why is
not
it
as funny,
saving?
buddy. All right, well, yeah, on Facebook for our C.O.R.E Phenomena pages, we have evidence up there. I posted past evidence on the beta page. I have videos up there of our EVPs with the waveforms, with the time-stamped areas, circled for people to focus on to hear the EVPs and whatnot. We have some videos up as well. One of the recent places we did was we did Eastern State, which is a pay-to-play kind of thing. So don't
That's
think
where it's
that,
all going.
yeah, don't think that
What
we're
do you do?
anybody special. We just forked over the money for it. So, but yeah, we went there and we have some stuff up for that. So.
And Margie, what do you do? Do you make dowsing rods? What the hell how did people get a hold of you?
Through that.
Through that.
Through that, okay.
Through the website.
I've been her
You
purchasing
don't make
agent,
dowsing
yes.
rods, you just...
No, I
you just,
buy them.
That web
You-
thing
you
you
just-
just.
And you
I
get
just
that
use
web
them.
thing
you get the
jig.
trip and fall loss.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Okay.
Yes.
So anyone that
Who's it?
has
What's
Margie
it?
come in there, make sure she signs the release forms.
But Margie is into Reiki as well. What are you, second degree?
Second degree.
Yeah, so.
What do you
When
mean
I-
you're into
when
Reiki?
you're-
You mean getting or giving?
Giving.
Oh.
I'm a
When-
second degree.
Okay.
Wow.
When you want to move up, I'm all the way up to 20th.
Wow.
Yes, I'm a grandmaster, so.
So, you two can get a room later.
People just start leveling up.
Yeah. Ashley, what the hell are you doing next week?
I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. Tonight I know I'm going to be playing Art
I know,
Survival.
you can tell that through the audio. So what are you doing next week?
I'm going to talk about video games and anime
Where?
during my show
Where?
on Thursday.
What is
It's
it?
called Geeked Out.
Where can they find it?
You can find it here on Wild FM.
Oh, on Wild FM. 'Cause Not everybody's on Wild FM listening to this shit.
You can go to wild.fm and our Twitch feed is up there. There's a link to our Twitch channel. If you want to just load up your Twitch app yourself, it's Geeked Out Squad G33KD0UT. It's fun times.
And Megan, you want a piece of this?
I'm only here on occasional Sundays.
Okay. So
That's
for
her
Megan,
quote.
this
That's
is-
going to be Megan's shirt. I'm only here on occasional Sundays.
Megan, this is an occasion. That's how her life is going. Honey, what do we got next week?
Well, next week we have a shaman coming on, and he's a local shaman.
It's a local shaman. What
lot of
Amazon River is he?
A lot of
from?
years of experience, and you'll just have to tune in to find to get his full history and. For
Okay,
him to
but
tell us.
we've had a little history with him.
Yes, we.
So
have,
he's a real deal shaman.
Yes, we
He
have.
spits into the fire and everything.
We have done full moon circles with him.
Right, he
Yes.
spits into the fire and everything.
Yeah, and yes, he spits into the fire.
Yeah,
and
so if
everything.
you're local, you can go on a full moon when he's having a ceremony, and he'd love to spit into the fire in front of you.
Yes.
Now, he'll be here next week.
Yes, he will.
Okay.
Be. Yes, he will be. I want to say thank you to everyone. Liza, I want to send you a special hello. And it's all the way at the other end. I'm not at fault at anything that happened here today. Just want to make that clear.
Oh, she expects this.
I know.
See, Margie, you're the fall girl. Apparently, I'm the fall guy.
Someone's got to be it.
That's it.
So, but I want
You
to
got
say
big shoulders.
I want to say thank you to everyone who listened, and hope you have a good week. And please try to stay cool, hydrated. It's on the downward side after tonight, but it's still going to be for another couple of days a bit hot and humid. So see you all next week. God bless. Stay cool.
And keep telling yourself climate change is a myth, people.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks for being had.
Bye. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. And we're done. Levels.
Pop-up time is not out yet.
There it is. You just gotta hit the right button. You know what I
There you
mean?
go.